Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ring Post Radio Nights. I am your host, with the least, of course, Ryan Knightsey, and with me, as always, is Scotty Edwards. Scotty, how are you doing on this fine Monday night?
As I told you before this, I wasn't doing good for most of the day, but I took a nap. I'm feeling good. We'll see how this show goes. Do you know how badly I want to act like I was playing the flute during that intro? Like, it's
Would you be shocked to learn that I thought the exact same thing?
Okay. Oh, all right. That would be really funny if we both did it. Yeah, like very, very tempting. I also didn't remember how long that song goes, so I was like, is this thing ever ending? I don't know what to do. I don't know. Have you ever seen Talladega Nights?
Yes, a billion times.
Yeah, great movie. And he's like, I don't know what to do with my hands. That's honestly how I felt, but I didn't know what to do with any part of me. So I was just like, just sat there, like
I think
acting like people can't see me. But
I think it works. Well, welcome everybody to Ring Post Radio. Of course, we were not there on Sunday because we had Forbidden Door that night, so we shifted over to Monday night here. We're glad you can watch us live if you're watching us live on Countout's YouTube channel. Otherwise, if you're listening to us, of course, we appreciate it. None the same, also as the same, whatever the phrase is. Well, like we said, obviously talking Forbidden Door, but it's the whole reason we shifted our show. So we'll talk about that. Ring of Honor has a show this Friday. We're gonna talk Stardom, talk ESPN is what I'm gonna describe it as. Other stuff. Indeed, I just looked at the title, saw that Scotty wrote other stuff, which I do love and I appreciate. So yeah, we'll talk about other stuff. I mean, it is one of those things of like the classic AEW pay-per-view episode where it's like it's probably gonna be in 90 minutes of us discussing AEW pay-per-view stuff, and then we'll see what we can squeeze in. But I guess let's just get right into it, Scotty, because we know that time is not on our side for these episodes. So let's discuss Forbidden Door, the AEW and New Japan co-promoted show that took place Sunday, O2 Arena in London, England. Obviously, the big financial business news coming out of that episode coming out of that pay-per-view is the record-breaking attendance of 18,000 plus by AEW, setting the record in that building for professional wrestling, and it's all nice and dandy for them, isn't it, Scotty?
You know how much I hate the trope of, oh, let's take a moment to announce the attendance. It's because it's a WWE trope, so I hate it.
Is it a WWE trope? Because you get that from like football games and baseball and
I
stuff.
have never watched a football game where they stop mid-game and go, oh, by the way.
You are right. One thing that I have seen with...
And they did it twice, by the way.
I've seen attendance numbers be announced at like baseball games and stuff. They do like a game of multiple choice.
Okay.
They should do that.
Yeah, no, that'd be great if we just played like a little game. Like,
why doesn't... Okay, this is a genuine pitch. More when you go to like wrestling shows live during the commercial breaks when there's no wrestling happening, and like you just have Justin Roberts out there talking. You should do multiple choice quizzes. You should do shell games. You should do that stuff. Get a crowd member in. I don't know if you have a lot of time, but those shell games and everything feel like they go quick. So just pull someone in and have them win a prize. Why not?
Yeah, that's all to say. Yeah, I can't stand the attendance trope because it's when they pop the graphic on the screen. I'm like, I truly don't care what number that says.
Yeah, I get you.
Every time. And that's more of me being mad at WWE for doing it for years because they inflated it by 5,000 or something. But I just thought to myself, why did we do this twice? They did it on the 0 hour with Martha, and then they did it again. And I was like,
you got to get 2 pops. You got to get double the pops.
Yeah, you're right. Fair enough.
Shout out, of course.
I can't beat that. We're all for the pops.
Zach Minger in the chat reminding us today is National Banana Split Day. So shout out that. Shout out Zach and Colin. Hi, guys. Hi,
Colin. I like the Banana Split Day. I always like the fun thing that Zach brings to the table.
Me too. I've fun fact, never in my life have I ever had a banana split.
Even more fun fact, neither have I.
Yeah, baby. We're the anti-banana split brothers over here.
Don't get me wrong. I've had plenty of ice cream.
Of course.
I just never needed fruit with it. Well, I like strawberries with ice cream.
I had a milkshake for the first time maybe like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Senior year of college.
All right, see that's crazy, but we'll ignore it.
We'll move on. We have to move on. The time
Did
demands.
it have banana in it? Clearly not.
I think it was just a vanilla smoothie or milkshake.
That's even crazier. Okay.
It was from Chick-fil-A. Does that change anything?
That makes it worse.
Yeah, it probably does make it work socially. Socially and politically, it makes it worse. I think. Anyways, tangents aside, let's talk Forbidden Door. Scotty, based on your reaction before we started recording, I feel like you and I have opposing thoughts on how we felt.
Oh, this was a guarantee.
So I'm excited about this. What did you?
So you love this show, is what you're telling me.
I did. Granted, of course, I had friends over and we watched it and had a good time and all that stuff.
That's good.
And all that. My wife made cookies during the show and that was fun.
And you didn't share.
Well, of course, I had all of them. I thought the show was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I liked a lot of the stuff, pretty much top down. Obviously, I have bits and bobbles all over the place with certain things. But for the most part, I really enjoy the show. I thought Forbidden Door, was it as successful as previous years? Maybe not as successful as the first one for sure.
Last year, if that helps.
I feel like it was better than last year, but I really don't remember last year.
I couldn't tell you. I know Mina was on it.
You said who?
Mina Shirakawa was on it. I remember that because she ran in this year, and they said that.
The funny thing about Mina Shirakawa running in is I don't think we saw an inch of her face. I think we only saw her from the back and these wide shots.
So your top matches from last year were Danielson versus Shingo, Tony versus Mina, Zach versus Orange, Naito versus Mox. It was rough.
Yeah.
Monet versus Stephanie Vaca.
Great. And
Swerve versus Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I think those last two matches were probably great, if I recall.
This year's cage match ratings are crazy. Maybe I need to rewatch the show because my God, did I not feel this way?
so I like I said, I really like the show. I really enjoyed it. Colin already dogging in the chat. If you've ever had a banana split, you're missing out, Ryan. I don't like the taste of banana. That's the big part of it.
Oh, there you go. That might be a good reason.
Or lack of taste of banana. I don't know what you describe as banana. Scotty, what do you think of Forbidden Door?
Oh, I did not like it. Okay. Let me give this entire take before I get yelled at.
Sure.
I think AEW.
How dare you think, Scotty? How dare you?
I know. I think AEW has shown me over the past couple of years that when it comes to booking a show, they don't care as much for the British UK shows because they don't have to try as hard because they know they're going to sell out or sell a lot of tickets. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
So I was thinking about it because I was like, what happened at All In this year when it wasn't in the UK? I was like, oh, right. It was the best All In by far. And then I thought to myself when I was watching the show, I was like, this was one of the, people have said this worst built Forbidden Doors.
I said it in our preview. It was like, I wasn't feeling the build. And I think that also played into me liking the show more because my expectations were so low.
Sure. That's possible. So, I'm watching the show. I'm like, I think that's just kind of where we're at with American companies booking for the UK because they know they're going to sell out. They know they're going to sell the tickets. And I just think that's a interesting thought on my behalf. My other take is I think MJF should never wrestle again.
I don't think that's a hot take that we've had on this show.
No, that wasn't a hot take. That was just one I needed to get off my chest.
Yeah.
And then I have a few other nitpicks. It wasn't it wasn't a bad show. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was a bad show.
Was it as bad as name WWE pay-per-view this year?
No.
Not even close.
No. I watched this with a friend, so that helped. I thought the main event was my favorite match by a lot.
Was it better than WWE's best pay-per-view this year?
Was the Evolution?
I'm looking. I think Evolution might have been. I'm looking at my
Evolution
chart.
To me is the best.
I have Evolution as the best WWE pay-per-view this year.
Evolution's one of the. I really enjoyed Evolution, so don't ask me. But, yeah. What? Can we? Are we gonna get to the card?
Yeah. We get to the card.
Because for me, my problems are more on a match by match basis rather than a show basis, if that makes
Sure.
sense. Because like the show ended on a high note for me, so I was in the end happy with that. But like certain things I just have problem with, and oh my god, one of them is MJF. I need this guy. Go away.
Yeah.
Go away.
Well, then let's go from the bottom to the top.
Bottom to the top.
Bottom to the
I
top.
don't need to talk about the pre-show personally because I barely watched it.
Well, I did watch the pre-show. I'll just quickly go through the 0 hour.
I know Yuya won.
What's
Shouts
that?
out. I know Yuya Uemura won. Shouts out to him.
I gotta turn your volume up because I barely hear you. Yes, Uemura won. Got the pin as well. 0 hour was El Desperado. Obviously there, not as IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, but as a commentator. Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, Yuya Uemura defeat the team of Action Andretti, Leo Rush, Hechicero, and Josh Alexander, incredibly forgettable. They forgot him in the entrances. I don't know what happened with him. You also had Gates of Agony and Ricochet defeat Jet Speed and Michael Oku. Megan Bain and the Triangle of Madness defeat Harley Cameron, Chris Statlander, Queen Aminata, and Willow Nightingale. And of
Can
course,
I just point out, after like 3 years, Michael Oku finally made it on one of these shows.
Took him long enough. It took an entire contract to get here. And of course, the Ops successfully retained their World Trios titles against the Bullet Club War Dogs team of Clark Connors, Drilla Milani, and Robbie X.
I did watch part of the pre-show because I have to complain.
Of course, go ahead.
I cannot stress how little interest I have in another Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale. We're not on the same page thing.
Yeah.
When they lost this match via that, I said, "Are you kidding me? Yeah. This is what we're doing with these two again?
We have to move on.
Like, we have to move on, and we're gonna talk about it with the women's championships very, very soon, because these two have been running in place for essentially 3 years.
Yeah. Last year was the moment to do it. Then Mercedes Moné got involved, and it just became nonsense. And now and it's the thing of like, obviously, if they go back to feuding, then they have a match. I would be interested in that match because I think it'll be a good match, a great match.
They have one of the greatest women's matches in the history of AEW. So
exactly.
Like, I'm not worried about them delivering a great match, but It's like, how many times do we have to do this?
I don't care for this currently.
No, and it's like, if the end of this is them winning the AEW women's tag belts, it's like, come on. That's the payoff. Like, I want these two as singles stars. Mm-hmm. And more importantly, I want them as singles champions.
Exactly right. Yeah. Overall thoughts on 0 hour? You said you watched a little bit of it.
I saw the end of the title match as well, and I saw Samoa Joe not bump for Robbie X, so I was happy.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I thought that for me, the personal best match was, you'll be shocked by this, Scotty, the Ricochet Gates of Agony versus Jet Speed and Michael Oku match.
I did see Michael Oku absolutely get like tossed or something. Like, there was something insane.
He went for his Fosbury flop, running around the ring, dive to the outside. Ricochet moves at the last second. No one's there to catch him, so he basically does that backflip midair. And just at the very last second, is able to rotate his body enough to not land on his skull.
Oh,
because he was coming down for a good while straight down, and then at the last second he rotated. That's terrifying.
Shout out to Ricochet. He's just, I started to like him a lot, and he hasn't been on a pay-per-view since. In a featured match.
That's the Scotty curse, isn't it?
Clearly, because like I got behind him, and then they're like, "Oh, well, we're gonna give him this faction thing."
Mm-hmm.
But we're not. Now I think we're going to something next, so I'm okay with it. But I was like, when I saw him on the pre-show, I was like, that's my fault.
Yeah. Otherwise, I thought it was a solid enough 0 hour for what it was. Getting to the main card, of course, Adam Copeland,
the real opener.
Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus Kip Sabian and Killswitch. I really like this match. I thought it was pretty good because, I don't know, I felt like Kip Sabian getting all that blood really worked for what he was going for, and I thought Killswitch, on his return, had something to prove, and I think he did a good job there. And I thought Copeland and Christian were good enough for what they are at this point in their careers that I was like, yeah, this was serviceable. This was good enough. I wasn't expecting a 4-star classic, but I walked away like, yeah, it's not bad. What do you think of this match?
I don't want to watch Edge wrestle anymore.
That's fair. I don't
But I
blame
do
you.
want to watch Christian Cage wrestle because he's still excellent.
Mm-hmm.
That was my takeaway from the match, because they were both in the same match together.
Yeah.
And wrestling the same person. So I was
Yes.
like, so I was watching, I was like, Edge is kind of bad. But Christian Cage is interesting. It was really weird, like seeing them wrestle together because I'll be honest. Haven't watched a lot of Dynamite recently. So I don't know like if this felt as pushed together and rushed as it did. Obviously the Nick Wayne injury didn't help. My main takeaway is good for Luchasaurus.
I agree.
That he's back. You know, that was my main takeaway. I never need to see Kip Sabian on a pay-per-view. That was my other takeaway.
Same.
Not to be mean to him.
I'm happy that he got super bloodied in the sense that like it added to the performance of it all. And it's like, great, okay, that was probably the best performance you're gonna get out of Kip Sabian on a pay-per-view ever again, I think.
Here's the thing I thought about. I know they never do it, but if you switch this and the ops match, just in the idea of AEW versus New Japan, fundamentally that would have been better, you know, because like a lot of the conversations like New Japan's on the show. This match didn't need to be on the show, right? We talked about this. This was a TV match we put on the show to give the UK fans a taste of Edge and Christian. So that's fine. But also wouldn't have picked it as the opener. I would have stuck it right in between the next 3 singles matches. I think my biggest thing with AEW pay-per-view cards now is I don't like how the order goes.
How they structure them.
Yeah, because like 3 singles matches, tag match, 3 singles matches, big cage match. That's how the show went after this. Pick up the single. I love single, and this also has nothing to do with AEW. I am on a unbelievable singles match of meaning burnout because of the past couple months. So like
it is a little bit of bad timing for you.
Yeah, so like everything just doesn't hit as much automatically in like 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. The TBS title was a 4-way, so it wasn't actually that bad.
But I get what you mean.
Opening half. I mostly meant the Okada, Tony, Page, and you know, put the Zach and Nigel match in there because I think you can mix and match there. But you get my point. But okay. The other thing is, I'll say this. This has nothing to do with the opening match. Like I said, I don't think this was a bad show. I think some things exceeded my expectations. I think my problem was certain other things delivered below my expectations, and that's where I was more hurt because the matches I was most looking forward to didn't live up to my hopes, while the matches I was like, we'll see, did go over. It was a weird show like that for me.
I think that's fair. And we've had these conversations previously of just like the struggle of expectations and a lot of times in wrestling.
And we'll talk about it with the next match as one, for example.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was I thought it was a decent enough opener, and it was like we said. I think like we said in our preview that like this is like a really good main event of Dynamite. You know, at the time, obviously it was Nick Wayne, and I think Killswitch did a good enough as a replacement. Obviously different.
Oh, he didn't do poorly. It's just like it was just it didn't work towards the story as much because Nick Wayne was kind of the centerpiece of that.
Exactly. I think like if this was like a main event of Dynamite, I would be like, yeah, just as good, probably.
Right. Sure.
Maybe they would have pushed a little bit harder, but ultimately they still went good. And that's the other thing. It's like we both know that like this was just like the kickoff of it, and they've even said on last Dynamite, it's like, yeah, the next bit is FTR. So we all know like that's gonna be presumably the better match.
Yeah. I would hope so. If that's not the better match, we have problems.
Next up, the TNT title match. Kyle Fletcher defeats Hiromu Takahashi. I really enjoy this match a lot. I do too. You know, longtime listeners.
Hiromu, always a great combo.
Longtime listeners know, and Scotty definitely knows for certain that I'm not the biggest Hiromu fan, but here I am dropping a 4 1/4.
Wow.
I really thought this match was great. I think Kyle Fletcher
is great.
He's so fucking great. Hiromu, obviously, like seeing Hiromu on Dynamite and not really have the crowd, and then obviously going to here, which more favorable to the London crowd he's performed in front of before, but then slowly over the course of the match get the crowd onto his side babyface wise, which is helped by a Kyle Fletcher just being like consistently a great heel and wrestling as a heel, which I love so much. Doing something and then slowing it down and allowing the crowd to boo him and doing stuff that gets the crowd to boo him. Like, it just feels everything he does feels natural and well paced and well meaninged, that I just think he's such a I just what is that, the butterfly thing, the butterfly meme, where it's just, I just really like this guy. Like, it's just like it's just this I just like Kyle Fletcher a lot. I really like him a lot, and I thought this was great, and I thought Hiromu was really great in here. It was just like, yeah, this is what I wanted. I want more of these New Japan versus AEW matches.
Hiromu proved to me what we've been saying. Him moving up to heavyweight is way more interesting for him. Yes, because he plays
can do
the
more
underdog.
Of the underdog.
He plays it so well. That's like the perfect role for him now in his career. Yeah, I really like this. I've been having this Kyle Fletcher take for a while, but we haven't talked about him for a bit, because I watched the Dustin match, I watched the Ishii match, now I watched this one. I think, pound for pound, he's probably the most consistent wrestler in AEW now. I think that is where I'm at with him.
And there's a lot of people that can fight him for that title, but
right,
I don't necessarily. Sure. I can see the argument.
But there's something about anytime a Fletcher match like pops up, I'm like, oh, I'm interested in that. Oh, I'm like, I have hopes for that. I have high hopes for that. Like when they announced Hiromu, I saw a lot of people be like, oh, okay. Because, there are people down on Hiromu, but I was like, I don't know. I just feel like Fletcher will make that work. I think he's excellent. I think him going away from being the Ospreay clone in all these various ways did him a lot of good, because he's now his own guy through and through, and I really do look forward to matches from him. I think he is so very easily a future world champion. I think he's so very easily, especially now that Ospreay's out and Swerve's out, is one of those guys you lean on in the next year. Because both of those guys are going to be gone. Obviously, those guys are the now. They're not the past, like a Omega may be now. But you're gonna have to lean on some guys, and you look at what Fletcher's done. You look at what he's doing with this championship, a championship that you and me have talked about many times, as a very up and down, bumpy road of reigns. He is stabilizing it and making it the must-see thing on Collision each and every time he gets to defend it. That Dustin Rhodes match ruled. Yep. The Ishii match was really good. This one was really good. Just keep letting this guy be him, and he will thrive. Like, there was a switch flipped for me literally when him and Ospreay were done with the cage match, because I think it was just like, get him away from that, let him go now, be himself. I think that's what any wrestler needs to do. Like, yeah, you can go back to that somewhere down the line, but we had seen 4 matches between them, in like that. A span. It's fun to see a guy like him who is so now I can't think of the word. So, he's explosive, he's exciting, and he's also controlled now.
Yes.
That makes sense. Like, that's a very intriguing aspect of Kyle Fletcher's. I feel like he's learned how to slow it down in the right ways.
Yep.
And dude rules. And I would love to see him back in CMLL. He did that last year.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him now, against Dorada. Like something like that. I think that would be incredible, I
really like the pinpoint on the controlled aspect that he's developed, especially a part of the heel dynamic is part of that control and that release and all that stuff in terms of the storytelling of the match. But what it also does for specifically a guy like Kyle Fletcher is that when you have more of those controlled, more, methodical, if you will, it allows for the explosiveness to be a bigger part of the full presentation. It shines bigger. It explodes literally more because it's he's controlled in his performance and his wrestling ability.
Yeah, that's a guy like, if you told me he challenged Hangman for the world title by the end of the year, I wouldn't hesitate. That would be a far more intriguing match to me than anything. And we'll talk.
Look, if Swerve and Ospreay are gone and they are announcing Australian dates, I am thinking to myself, I'm like looking at it like, I don't know. Maybe I'd do some sort of title match.
By February, I think so.
I think it's plausible. I mean, maybe he can still be TNT champion. I don't know if I would want to do that, but he could certainly lose a title between now and February too.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing to have one of the mid card champion. One of two? Do we have more than one mid card now? Okada ate them both. Never mind.
Whatever. I really don't know exactly where the unified title is.
Yeah, I don't really know, but I don't have a problem with him challenging if he's on like this incredible run. He's like, kind of gets big headed type thing. Obviously, I know Mercedes had just done that recently, so maybe
the
push it off. But for Australia, I don't have a problem with it.
Well, look,
I wouldn't put them both on the line. That's important.
Look, Scotty, you can literally build that match. Perhaps if things go a certain way we're the Don Callis family. We already have one world title from New Japan. Now let's go after the other world title in AEW so that we can have both in the part of the Don Callis family. That's all you have to do to build up that match.
That's true.
It'd be perfect. It'd work out really well. And I think it's really plausible that they would do it.
I'd be intrigued by that.
TBS title match. Mercedes Moné defeats Alex Winza, Bozilla, and Persephone. Obviously, the Ryan Knightsey victory lap is in full swing. Out of nowhere called, hey, Bozilla would be a good spot here. Not only because it's a bunch of smaller people and she could do really well. She's obviously in the area in terms of Europe. All she needs is the free date and she can do it. And boy, howdy, was I right? Did I nail it?
You did. You said Bozilla on this show.
Like 2 weeks ago. Sorry, all those Azune fans that are looking forward to that.
Oh, she was busy.
Bozilla.
She was busy. Like it paid off for Azumi fans. She actually made the 5-star final, which I did not see coming. So it actually worked out. I
think for this match, obviously, like I said, I'm looking at this match as a tryout match for Bozilla. Alex Windsor
for which company?
Pick one. Certainly pick one.
Because she's sure getting a contract from one of them.
I agree.
If not both.
I think this match was pretty good.
I had fun with this match. I think that's how I left.
Exactly.
It,
Exactly. I had fun with this match. Bozilla is definitely like you could still see it as like this can be someone more, but she's still very green. I think I saw somewhere
she won a lot of people over. I saw.
Yeah, well, that's also part of. I mean, that's sadly, Scotty. I think that's also part of like modern wrestling nowadays. Is like her entrance. She comes out and it's like that's a person. That's the quote unquote airport test, right?
Yeah, she wins you instantly. I mean, that's what she's done. Her entire run dating back to last year. Her first match last year won her over. Everyone's like, "Who the hell is Bozilla?" And now she steps on this grand stage, the biggest stage she's ever been on. And everyone's like, Bozilla's, the next big star.
Yeah.
But I think
pull it back to even the Marigold debut where the crowd
that's the one I meant.
Who the fuck is this person?
Right. That was a unique experience in itself. And like that just kind of was followed here. I think this is how I look at it with Bozilla, which is probably the main talking point here. We'll talk about Mercedes, I guess, and so on after that.
Sure.
But with Bozilla, Dave had said today or yesterday or last night, whenever the hell he said it, about how, I'd love to see her stay in Japan for another year or two. And this was a conversation point we all had after her first year in Japan and how, going back to Stardom was the best thing she could do.
Yep.
There is such a little chance to me that is a reality. And this isn't her fault because she is going to get paid by either WWE or AEW. And I said it the moment they announced Bozilla was in this match. I said, it's happening again. This is what happened last year. And I think it's going to happen again. And based on the reactions, it already feels like it's probably going to happen again, which is awesome for Bozilla, first and foremost. I don't want to take money off of anyone's table. She is going to be a big time star. That is a guarantee because you can't find anyone that does what Bozilla does.
Or looks the way Bozilla looks.
Looks the way, does what she does. Like you can't, right? She is a one of a kind talent. the dream would obviously be she stays in Stardom until March of next year and then signs. But I think it's clear what her goals are, and it's probably one of these two companies, right? She came to America during Mania weekend. Obviously, no contract was made there, so she went to Stardom. It's been doing good there. If she stayed there till March and then went, I think she'd be even better than she already is now, and it would be a fascinating conversation. I don't see her making it till the end of the year without a contract.
I'm in the same boat. I mean, literally, it's one of the situations where by time we talk about, by the time we're on Ring Post Radio next week, Bozilla might have a contract, right? It's like that is kind of the state of wrestling right now.
And I think there is a discussion point to make when it comes to partnerships at that point. If it leads to another, and it either way where she shines, it'd be like, all right, what are we doing? Like, we showcased her, now she's gone. Now we don't have her anymore. We're left with B. Priestley instead. I'm sorry, I was right there. I don't know. Whatever it is, though, whatever happens, I'm happy for Bozilla. She had a great showing. I think Persephone had a really cool showing. I think Persephone is a fascinating wrestler as well. The more she gets big opportunities, the more, like Bozilla, she's going to get better. She's a powerful wrestler. She's an exciting wrestler, probably the most exciting from the women's side of things to CMLL outside of maybe La Catalina. Her and those are kind of the two I have enjoyed.
She's got, you can see the amount of confidence growing in Persephone since all these AEW dates.
Absolutely. My main problem, though, for this match was there was zero chance anyone was winning.
Yes.
Besides Mercedes Moné.
Which sort of the theme of the night to a certain degree.
Yeah. I want to save the women's title conversation until we get to later, because that is, I think there is a very big conversation there. I had no problem with Mercedes winning this match because I was like, well, I don't think Alex Windsor should win. That would be kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't think, and like Bozell and Persephone weren't winning. But overall, I had fun.
There's something I do like, and that would have been a fun idea for this kind of match, is make it a match for 4 titles. Make it for the TBS title, the Rev Pro title, the CML title, and I don't know, pick one of the vague European indie titles for Bozilla. And just do that and then still have Monet win. Like, there's something that's like, now there's like more stakes up for grabs, even if it's like, oh yeah, Mercedes is still gonna win. There's something, there's still a little bit more meaning there. To just close a quick loop on Bozilla, I think like legitimately the best case situation that might go forward. I mean, the best case situation is she stays in Stardom for another year, but since that feels so small, the other big case situation for me is like have her sign like an AEW contract and then just tell her you're staying in Stardom for a year.
Yeah, that would probably be the next best case.
The quote unquote Megan Bain contract, or whatever we want to call that thing.
That would probably be next best case. However, my expected case is she doesn't sign with AEW or Stardom and goes to WWE.
So. I sort of agree. I see Bozilla next to like Rhea Ripley, and I'm like, okay, there he goes. But Bozilla goes to that ready. You know what I mean?
Sure. But she would be in NXT and she'd do her thing, and she feels like someone they're gonna want.
Exactly. Thoughts on Monet?
But she's Mercedes Moné. She's good.
Perfect.
I don't have any thoughts on her as like in the match.
You said something about a title about saving Monet for later. I assume that's part of the title conversation.
Yeah.
Well, let's move it along.
There's a conversation that needs to happen.
IWGP World Heavyweight Title match. Zack Sabre Jr. defeats Nigel McGuinness. Scotty, what do you think of this one?
I just don't like technical wrestling, okay? So, like, I recognize
sport style.
Yeah, I recognize watching this. I said this to my friend when we were sitting there watching. I was like, this isn't for me. Like, this match is not for me. This match is for the people that are sitting there and, British wrestling fans and things like that. Well, that's literally what I said when he popped up. I was like, this spot right here, this video has no effect on me. But for those people in that building, it sure does. So yeah, like I am lower on it than probably everyone else, and that's because
where were you sitting at?
I don't think you want to know. It's probably like 2 3/4, 2.5.
Oh,
like it's not.
That's way low. That's unfairly low.
I probably land like if I'll talk to you about it a little bit more. And you'll remind me of things that happened, and I'll be talked up a little bit. Meanwhile, I didn't put any of my ratings in until when the show was over, so stuff started to throw in. Now, I think I have Zach fatigue.
Yep.
To go with the singles fatigue, I also have Zach fatigue.
Yeah.
And I also don't love the technical World of Sport style. So boy, oh boy, the fatigue was through the roof.
There's a lot of things working against you.
I like Nigel. He's cool.
Yeah.
He hits hard. He seems like he's getting back to where he once was years ago.
And by that, of course, you mean he's growing out his hair and spiking it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he looks good. Like, I'll give him that, and he's hitting hard and things like that. I don't even remember how the match ended. I think it kind of ended out of nowhere, right?
Yeah. Out of nowhere sort of pin combination attempt.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay.
Look,
say something?
I don't blame you. I'll say this before you say that. I don't blame you. I went 3.5, much lower than Cage Match have at 8.03 right now, right?
Okay, so we're still lower. Overall,
we're still lower. Sure. I'm also realizing that 3.5 is the sort of placement where I'm like, I thought this match was really good, but I wasn't too interested as it was happening. Yeah. Like as it ended, I was like,
nice 7 out of 10.
I think as it was ended, my wife said that was it, and I said, yeah, I think that was it. It was good. It was a really good match.
That is how it felt when it ended.
Really well done. I mean, even you talk about the World of Sport style, and I watched a great World of Sport match earlier this week as well. I'll save that for later. Nice. Way later in the show. And the difference really here is that, this is like World of Sport beginnings, but then the beginning trappings, but then it goes into sort of this more American indie style of the harder hitting, the Zack Sabre Jr. strong style thing that he sort of developed with the harder hitting mix of Nigel.
That's when I started to like it.
Exactly. And that's when I started to like it as well. I think like the problem is with what these guys evolved into with Ring of Honor and with New Japan is that the World of Sport stuff matters less and is used at the beginning of the match as sort of a way to just like, we're going to do all this stuff, but it kind of matters in everything. Granted, we're going to do the big pin combinations, everything at the end, and that's going to be cool as well. But at a certain point, it then becomes, we're going to start striking each other. And that's also part of the whole style, but it's a style that, that the uppercuts and all the strikes and everything, it's a style that like I think it's evolved more into that in terms of this modern sense of World of Sport style. You were going to say something, Scott.
Yeah, World of Sport style. Sometimes it feels this is gonna sound bad, kind of like goofy.
Yeah.
Is that like I respect the craft. I respect what they do. Like it's a lot of creativity. But like sometimes things just look like a little goofy. It's like I'm falling out of it, which is fascinating because when then they're crushing each other with uppercuts and stuff, I was like, yeah, this is what it's all about because that's not World of Sport.
Yeah.
But there's a reason World of Sport's mostly extinct.
Yeah, I think like a big part of it is that, to go back to what I'm saying about like the beginnings don't matter as much or that sort of thing, is that, part of that old British style is part of the video package for Nigel McGuinness and Johnny Saint. Like it is a game of chess. You're constantly doing these things. And you're not just constantly, it's like an entire match span of these sort of this kind of style of wrestling. And you're just hoping to get that one quick 1, 2, 3 count sort of thing, and the problem with the modernization of it and infusing these other American and Japanese styles is that it becomes less that game of chess and just evolves into like to a certain degree, yes, it's still part of it, but it's less the game of chess than World of Sport is, and more of like, okay, now we're just going to start striking each other with uppercuts. And that's certainly part of the British style to a degree as well. But it's a part that I'm like, I think it's just become modernized to an extent that I'm just sort of like, I don't know.
I also said to my friend about the Zack Sabre line, like if you show American fan technical wrestling, it's like the whole comment like it's a waste of time. I was like, you're right, it is a waste of time because I'm bored. It's why I liked his more newer style in New Japan, where he like kind of crafted into more strong style because like I used to not like Zach much at all when he was mostly just this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a me thing. Like I understand this is a thing that people like. This is the thing that people really enjoy.
Ironically, I liked Zack
match.
Sabre Jr. more when he was doing that stuff. You know, like when he first came to New Japan.
Well, this is also to say I currently am in a spot where I don't like Zack Sabre Jr. So what do I know?
You just don't like the guy, I think.
I mean, the guy might be fine. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know the
sure,
guy
sure.
personally. You know, it's just whatever. Moving on.
Yeah,
Not the champion I wanted representing at this pay-per-view.
Obviously. Nigel McGuinness versus Evil. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
You're damn right. You know what? That's another point I want to make.
It's actually nice. I know it should have been Grotto's for the joke, but Evil would have been funny.
Yeah, no, you're right. Watching this show, I was like, Tony Khan has the audacity to tell me he hates Evil and he puts MJF in the world title match. Evil could have got a great match out of Hangman Page. MJF purposely goes out of his way to ruin things. Take it back. Like, how is your poster boy, MJF, so bad, and you have the audacity to shame on Evil? Evil, who had a G1 final that people really liked? Meanwhile, I saw some people say this match fell off a cliff at the end because, guess who? MJF. And just sucks. Continue.
By the way, this is the perfect reminder of we need Mermaid Man from SpongeBob yelling "evil" on the sound.
I have it.
You're right. You said evil twice. You were like evil, and in my head I heard evil.
Oh God! That was one of the points. I was like, you know, evil versus Hangman Page would have been sick. Just want to point that out.
You want a minor gripe from me about this match that we're still, the IWGP World Heavyweight Title match?
Evil wasn't in it.
Evil wasn't in it.
Yosuke Takeshita wasn't on this show, by the way. I realized that midway through this match. I was like, wait a minute. The guy that won the G1 that has contracts with both of these companies isn't wrestling?
Oh, maybe, Scotty. My reaction was, oh, maybe they just couldn't get him in for the show. And then he shows up for the post-match stuff of Okada and Swerve just to talk and look at Wardlow. Spoilers. That. And I'm just like, why did we do this here? Why didn't you just do, and like also to no fanfare, like not even his music or anything, just like he walks out.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just have him like Zack Sabre Jr. celebrate and then have Takeshita come out and look at him? Obviously, instead they wanted to do the Nigel McGuinness, like, thank you, whatever. But Zack Sabre Jr., like do that. Do the Takeshita face to face. You could do both. I don't care.
You're right. You're just right. I couldn't believe it. Like when it hit me that he wasn't on the show, I was like, it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Fascinating show. Like there's always something.
It's always something. It's the what that is. It is. We booked Takeshita as part of the AEW booking, not the New Japan booking. If that makes sense. This is a New Japan match that presumably was put together by Gato and Co.
No way. No way.
I agree.
Gato's like, give me Nigel McGuinness. No. When he popped up on the pre-show, by the way, huge pop by your boy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, he's actually here.
Yeah, no, I can't
believe it. Can we talk about that as well?
Sure.
We had all the bad War Dogs, and I couldn't get the one good one.
Gabe Kidd?
No.
I knew. I wanted to see your reaction.
No. Bigger Dave?
You got to give me Bigger Dave.
Why is he not here? Do they hate him?
I don't know.
Because, I want to see that if Tony Khan posts he hates David Finlay, we're going to have even more problems.
Yeah, I know.
He's never been booked on one of these shows.
No.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, there's just people that seemingly just don't have any interest in doing this show. And I feel a guy like David Finlay who could probably, I don't know if he has like...
Man, imagine him and Hangman Page.
I don't know if he has Irish citizenship, but I'm going to assume he might, right? Just through like his dad being Irish.
What's the excuse for the other years?
The bit of like this guy not being at all. We could have done Hangman Adam Page. That would have been a way better match. I mean, we even pitched Hangman Adam Page versus Evil as like a story beat that would have made more sense.
That would have been sick too.
But like David Finlay would have worked.
Oh man, would he have worked? David Finlay rules.
Yeah. Let's move on. AEW World Tag Team Title match, 3-way match. You know, part of the billing was that this was elimination, and then it wasn't.
And then MVP said, "Are we sure?"
Well,
he wasn't even here, by the way.
MVP wasn't there. There was some speculation about like, oh, is it because he knew his guys were losing? And I also saw other speculation of MVP also has a criminal record, and there's a solid chance he might not have been able to come into the country because of that. So
I like the first rule though.
I know you do.
Like, just imagine he's like, "Oh, they're losing. I'm not going."
Yeah. So we got Bandito and Brody King, officially the new AEW World
Champions,
defeating Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, the Hurt Syndicate, and of course FTR. What do you think of this one?
I love Brodito. I love them. I love everything about them.
Did you see that new graphic?
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a great graphic. I love these two. Sorry, Buddy Matthews, but this is the way. Hope you're doing well. I don't know how hurt you are, but probably pretty bad.
I'm sure there'll be a spot for you somewhere on the card.
Yeah, I'm sure. But Brodito rules. Kind of simple. And when they won, now we'll talk about the finish, but when they won, I was thrilled because like every sign pointed to them losing, but just getting in there because they earned a lot of fanfare in the past 2 months or so since pairing up. But my God, these two rule. These like the perfect like showcase of like, why is AEW good?
Agreed. Fully agreed.
Oh, like that is all you got to show. This match was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the sort of semi swerve of like, okay, they're gonna get this as a consolation prize being on the show, and no, they get the full prize of winning the titles, and we're gonna see more of them. And it makes sense. I mean, spinning out of this match, you got all three of these tag teams doing 3 different things. Yeah, and I'm like, it makes sense honestly to put the titles on them.
FTR versus Edge and Christian did not need belts.
No, it would have been nice. It could have added something, but it really doesn't need the belts.
That's a big signature match you can do on All Out without belts. Because now we get a Brodito match. Yeah, and that means something to me, man. Those two are great.
You have the Hurt Syndicate spinning off into Ricochet and Gates of Agony.
Yeah, by the way, the Hurt Syndicate rule. I have to bring this up every time, especially with the past couple weeks of like, oh, they don't want to lose. Yeah, sure, maybe they don't.
Definitely,
but who cares? But they don't have to. You know why? Because they're over, so it doesn't matter. Who was the most cheered people? Them and Brodito. It was back and forth. Like they people love them, myself included.
Current Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame nominees, FTR were third wheel in here.
Big time. And that was the way the match needed to be, quite frankly, for it to, I think, be most exciting. And you can run Brodito versus FTR again down the line, right? Because they went to the draw and stuff. But Brodito versus Jet Speed, thank you. Brodito versus Rod and Todd, thank you. Brodito versus Jeremy and Max, thank you.
Brodito versus the same. Roderick and Kyle, I'll take it.
Yes, please. Like you and me had talked about so long, right?
I don't know if they exist anymore, but Big Bill and Brian Keith.
Yes, please. Like we had talked about so long the tag division and the failures of it.
Yep.
And funny enough, it's almost like the Hurt Syndicate fixed it.
They rewrote the ship a little bit.
Awesome. Right? Like they were just awesome. Yeah, they kind of ran through a bunch of tag teams. But hey, having awesome champions is not a bad thing. And then you got here where Brodito kind of come out of nowhere and they're now champions that you're excited for, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pumped that they won. Obviously, the finish was clearly a ref mistake. The ref clearly had no clue that Brodito was winning.
Yep.
Which sucked a little bit out of the match, unfortunately, because it's like what just happened.
Yep. I'll also add the Ricochet and Gates of Agony attack Like the camera didn't know what to do. The match itself was getting to the climactic finish, but it also needed to see this, and it needed to see the reveal of who it was. And it's the sort of like overbooking thing that like they wanted to do to get out of the Hurt Syndicate being involved. So it just got overbooked. The camera didn't know what to do.
Right.
And then the referee blew the finish. I think it was Paul Turner blew the finish of the match. It was like, okay.
It was
just kind of everything just kind of fell apart.
It was a tough ending to what was on pace to be like one of my favorite matches of the show easily. It still was. Like I still really enjoyed it. But I think it would have been at a higher level had that not all happened literally at once, it felt like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy about the champions. That was my big takeaway. It's funny that I started this saying I didn't like the show. There's a lot of that I did like. It's just we haven't got to the stuff that annoyed me the most.
Yeah. And like I said, like a lot of the stuff is nitpicks. Like the IWGP World Heavyweight Title match, this match, you know.
I didn't like that, but that's because of my preferences.
Yeah,
I had no problem with what they did.
For me, and we'll get to it, Scotty. We'll get to it. I think like sort of this match was probably the World Tag Team match was probably my least favorite, just because it was like a solid match that had like two big things that all fell apart at the very end. And it was just sort of like it was on pace to be like a 3.5 sort of like 3 3/4 kind of match. And then it's just like this fell apart and then the finish fell apart. I was like, no, I can't go that high.
I get that. Also, this is another thing I remember that I said to someone yesterday. I think a lot of my problems with this show is the first half of every match wasn't as engaging, except for this one was actually the reverse.
I can see that.
A lot of the matches were like really slow, and then they have like a 5-minute final stretch or something, and be like, oh, it's over. There's one match I have mega problems with though, and I don't think anyone's prepared for what it is. Besides MJF, I've made that perfectly clear.
The AEW Unified Title match: Kazuchika Okada defeats Swerve Strickland.
This was fine. I thought Okada took the night off, and Swerve put in a great shift.
I liked it.
A lot of people did. I just don't think I like AEW Okada.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I think I've landed there because this is.
I think this is one of the better Okada performances in AEW. That's how I feel about it. I think the Omega one's obviously the best. And I think the Ibushi one was fairly strong.
I love the Ospreay one.
Ospreay one's obviously also good.
I think that was it.
I think this was okay. I think maybe a top 5 Okada, and that kind of sucks to say.
That's not saying a lot.
No, that's what I mean.
Based on the fact that those were your 3 matches you pointed out and didn't name a 4th. So here's my thing with Okada, right? His entire, and we've talked about this, his entire formula was always build for 10, 12 minutes, and then have like that great 20-minute run to reach a 30-minute match. He still does that, right? He still does the 10 to 12-minute build up. But then the match just ends because, hey,
then
you're
he has
getting
to do
16
4
minutes, buddy.
Finish.
Right. And I think that's my biggest problem because the finishing stretch of this match was great between the two. It was just like the usual Okada thing in the early going. It's like rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I'm going to miss Swerve. That is my big takeaway from this match. I'm very much going to miss him as he goes and gets his meniscus surgery. Obviously good for him. The fact that he's had it since 2019 and has wrestled at the level he has is unbelievable. Yeah, like when that report came out, I was like, why do you have to get it now?
He basically got let go. No, wait, not even let go. He was still in WWE at that point, I think.
Yeah. I think he didn't get cut till the pandemic, I think. Classic company. So yeah, I think that's when that payoff. Yeah, but ultimately with
he signed with WWE in 2019. So I don't know exactly when in 2019, but he started in May of 2019. So pretty much like he tore his meniscus but got the WWE contract, and he's like, I'm just gonna sit on this and work hard in WWE, and then just spun out the way it did, and now 6 years later he's like, all right, I can maybe start doing something.
My knee hurts. I'm going to get this fixed now, which good for him. I'm excited to see him. Meniscus isn't as long as what will obviously be going through. So he'll probably be back in 6 to 8 months, but he'll be missed.
Obviously, a big part of this match is
I remember what my problem with this
aspect
match
of things
is.
and working the leg and
I remember
building
what
up to
my
the
problem with
Mexicans.
this match was. It's the post match. I fucking hated the post.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
post match sucked bomb.
I thought the match was solid. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I thought it was great. And the post match was
Wardlow in the year 2025.
Stinky poo poo, I think.
You know what my friend called him?
He didn't even touch Wardlow. He just touched Nana, which is a way to write off Nana, but touch Swerve too. Who cares?
You know what my friend called Wardlow? Bigger Karrion Kross. I lost it. I was like, yeah.
He has the same energy as Karrion Kross.
Yeah, you don't want to see either of them at all do anything in a wrestling ring. I couldn't believe he showed up on this show.
I couldn't either. I was like, when he came out, I was like, Wardlow, what are you doing here, bud?
I'm going to be that guy. I was kind of hoping he was no longer employed. All right? There, I said it.
I'm genuinely shocked that he showed up on this pay-per-view. The best part about Wardlow for me is him standing next to the Don Callis family and just starting and doing his Wardlow flex. And I turned to my friend, I said, look, here's the thing about Wardlow. Don Callis family really needed that dumb jock energy, that we lost in Brian Cage.
Sure.
And Wardlow fills it up to a T.
That's true.
Perfectly. He fits so well as the dumb jock guy. Like Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita are cool. Lance Archer is this massive badass. The little dorks of Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero over there. And just Wardlow going like, but yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about.
This group's too big.
Too big.
But it's funny at the same time, so it's like whatever.
It's too big, but also I'm fine with it. But also I know there's like 5 Don Callis family members that are injured right now.
Yeah, so Takesha's clearly leaving it, right? Like
I think so.
He's the one beating Okada. I think we've all settled on that.
Yep. I think Takesha's probably going to win there's an argument. I think Takesha might win the Continental Classic.
He should.
Have him win the G1 and the Continental Classic this year.
And he should beat Okada and be the babyface that he should have been for the past 2 years. That's my preference.
It depends, because there's a chance he's going to win the IWGP title before that. So that's where it throws a wrench. That's the wrench.
Yeah, we'll see when we get there. Yeah. But he still should beat Okada. That should be the payoff. And I think that is the payoff. I think they've teased that enough for it to be the payoff.
I agree.
But yeah, Wardlow stinks, and I have no interest in seeing him.
Me too. I can't wait to see him in a bunch of trios matches with Lance Archer, Wardlow, and I don't know, what's another? Josh Alexander. Well, I like Josh Alexander and Hechicero. There's a vibe there that I'm enjoying. But yeah.
Hechi just showing up in the black turtleneck. In the mask. I was like, yeah, shout out Hechi.
That's my guy. That's my future.
Where was CML, by the way? How are they not on this show?
It's a Forbidden Door show. It's New Japan. It's AEW.
Yeah, but in the opening video they said it's CML and STARDOM have joined the party, and it's like, hello.
Well, Hechicero was on the pre-show.
And Persephone was there.
Persephone was the CMLL, STARDOM, New Japan, all that stuff was just the TBS title match.
Pretty much, which tells you exactly who made sure they were on the show. And it was the person that was the champion in said match.
Yeah, we'll talk about more of that. I think post-closing main event, we'll talk about that, I think, a little bit more. AEW Women's World Title match. Scotty, you had some thoughts. Toni Storm versus Athena.
I did not like this match.
Really? Why did you not like it?
Because Toni Storm does nothing and then just wins. That is her formula, and I don't like it. I'm also over Toni Storm.
Ooh.
As world champion, as timeless, as everything. She has now beaten Mercedes Moné and Athena.
Yep. I don't know where we go now.
We don't go higher than that. And also, here's a scorching take that I need to share. What Tony Khan and AEW have told me this year with Athena's 2 biggest singles matches is she's not good enough. She's lost to Mercedes Moné and she's lost to Toni Storm. Those are her 2 main singles matches, and she lost both of them.
I don't know. I don't think I disagree. I don't think I agree with that take because I don't think she's defined good enough, because it's an active ceiling for someone that's about to hit 1,000 days of Ring of Honor.
Yeah, champion. But that's a Mickey Mouse reign at this point. Like, that's not
it's a kangaroo court of a title.
Like, you and me have talked about this. That should have ended 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and it's still going. You know, like for me, they've set a ceiling for her.
Yes,
and I don't love that.
I fully agree that she has hit a ceiling, and it's Toni Storm and Mercedes. She's not above them. Which, to a degree, Scotty, it is like, yeah.
But this is her second ceiling, though, because we had a Ring of Honor ceiling. She smashed into that 2 years ago. Now she smashed into the AEW ceiling when she finally got here. It's just, I really like Athena, and I think she was the best part of this match.
We both said that for this match she could come. I thought that, like,
she also tapped out.
She is a third. She could be a third pillar.
Sure, and she also tapped.
After this match, she taps out to Toni Storm. No, I don't think so.
Here's the thing, Ryan. There's not a third and fourth pillar. There's 2, and their names are Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné. Everyone else is not even on the list.
Yep.
Willow, no. Chris, no. Athena, no. Is there anyone else that should be in the conversation? Britt Baker, ha. Sorry. Had to get that out there. Mariah May would have been, but she left.
Megan May, not yet.
Not yet.
You know, maybe one day.
But another one. She lost to Toni. Like, what? I don't know. Maybe I don't get it. I don't get. This is her 4th title reign, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, we have done this. She's beaten Mariah twice. She's beaten Megan May. She beat Mina. She beat Mercedes. She beat Athena. To me, and on the flip side of this with Mercedes is she beat Mercedes, right? That should have created a great story of starting to lose. She's added 7 titles since then.
Yes.
So, like, there's no repercussions from that other than Tony's the best.
It implies fluke victory is what it does.
That's true. Which, if the payoff is just a rematch between those 2, fine. But at this point, you kind of want to make someone with one of these 2 reigns.
Yeah.
Preferably, you make 2 people.
Yep.
And the 2 people, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I'm going to say their names again. Should be Willow and Chris.
Yeah. And who knows what's happening with this rumored tag belt that may or may not exist.
Which, mind you, Mercedes has beaten both of them.
Yes.
Just to bring that all back around. And Toni, I'm sure, has beaten them before in one of her 7 reigns.
Look, I'll agree with you. I thought this match was one of the weaker ones as well. I think I went 3 1/4 on it.
Which was a bummer for me because I was really looking forward to it.
Me too. A somewhat susceptible to expectations as well. Look, I kind of agree with you that it's like, I don't know what to do with Toni Storm here at this point. And I just kind of, right now, I'm locked into, look, I just think this title reign of Toni Storm is going to be long. I think we just have to sit on this ride. It's going to be long.
So far, it's 192, by the way.
We just listed, like, 10 women that she could have over the next year, these various matches built, match of the month sort of feuds with.
Yeah.
I just kind of think we're sitting into it. And I think ultimately what it is, Scotty, is what we're sort of talking about is the plan to me is just keep Toni Storm strong at the top, have her beat these these wrestlers a month, and build up to, let's say, All In Wembley next year, where she faces somebody that we've built up with over the course of the year with the Owen to defeat Toni Storm or Mercedes in Wembley next year. I just kind of think that's the plan. Yeah. And realistically, if you want to say it in a derogatory sense, we're hamster wheeling until next year. And is that necessarily a bad thing? No, because it could mean the pure elevation of Chris and Willow, but it is like okay, I'm just gonna have to. It's good. This is Tony Storm for me in terms of interest level is the back burner.
I think it's a bad thing when you have two unbeatable champions.
I can agree. You can get away with one
because you're hamster wheeling both.
Yes,
at a certain stage.
Yes, there is a conversation that this could lead to, especially long term, just utter staleness in the women's roster and the women's division.
And obviously, I love Mercedes Moné. I wanted her to win the world title a month ago or whatever. Of course. Right? Like I couldn't stress that, but we're getting to a point now where you have both of them. Like Mercedes has beaten people in this title reign that are MIA, no longer around, like all these different people, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's weird, like being in the spot where like the women's division is clearly and rightfully so about these two, but it feels like there's no room there at the top for anyone else. And I think that's where my problem's growing because, like you said, we don't have a next plan with Tony Storm. And Tony Storm has essentially, to me, in my brain, been world champion for the past like 3 years.
Yeah.
She feels like she's been champion longer to me than Mercedes, despite having the breakup and obviously disappearing for a couple months at the end of last year.
Yeah. It was literally because you had, Tony Storm as champion, and then you had the long Jamie Hayter reign that Tony Storm, then took the title back, and then he had Shida, then he had Saraya, then he had Shida again, then he went back to Tony Storm.
Which was like a 2-month span.
Yeah, super long reign of Tony Storm. And then you get Mariah May, which, look, long reign, 174 days, nothing to sneeze at. But because that her as a character was so incredibly tied to Tony Storm, it felt like Tony Storm was still very relevant. And then we're back to Tony Storm. Who already has a reign longer than Mariah May's, which is kind of crazy to me. I mean, look, I don't disagree with you. I think I do sort of see the argument with Athena to a degree. She definitely has a ceiling. I think there is something of like, look, but she is going to be longest Ring of Honor champion of all time already. And I think there's something there that like, it's not that you don't care. It's just that she has a ceiling and she gets lumped in with everybody else. And that's the part that really sucks. It's not that I don't care about Willow, Chris, Bane, Athena, rattle off the names we just named. It's just that they're all sort of lumped together. And we're now at a point where people need to start standing out and breaking out to get into the next bit. I don't see Tony Storm losing that title at this point until Wembley. Now that brings up the next conversation of what the heck are we doing with Mercedes Moné? When is she going to start losing some titles? When is she going to start losing the TBS title? And to whom? I don't know who that's going to be.
Half of the titles she's never going to lose. She's just going to hand it back, right?
Part of me thinks this reign ends with Mercedes Moné getting injured and then giving up all the belts.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like kind of what happened with Kenny when he did the belt collector thing, where Kenny's going to lose the AEW belt and then go away for a few. Like that feels like what Mercedes will end up doing. And I hate being like this because I love Mercedes Moné.
Of course.
Her match output is fantastic. She is, to me, by far the best part of the women's side of things in AEW. I look forward to everything she does. And I honestly, between the two reigns, feel like hers is shorter because, like I said, Tony Storm has been just connected to the world title for so long.
Yeah.
But when there are two avenues and both of the avenues are where do we go next, it's a problem. Yeah. And for Mercedes, I don't know where we go next. Like personally, I think you should bring in Azumi to do a match, the singles match, because she did take the one belt she no longer has. So there's a simple story there. And then do you want to come back to Willow?
There's also this weird Momo post-match promo of like, what are you?
That I think is more to do with the fact that the world champion is Saya Kamitani, so we have to beat around the bush a little bit.
Again, what are we doing?
Right. Like for Mercedes, there's no end point. Who are you putting over in the end? Because she's beaten Chris, she's beaten Willow, and also both of them should be the world champion, not TBS champion. They've done that. Been there, done that. So it's like, who's going to beat it? I don't need to look at the roster page to tell you there's no option. I don't. Is it going to be Alex Windsor? Like, I don't think so.
Technically, the only person she hasn't had a singles match with, if you want to say that. I'm looking at the list of matches she's had, and I don't even remember that Nyla Rose match. Jesus.
That was a random TV one. I remember.
Like, yeah, it was Dynamite 250. That was after Forbidden Door last year. A month later, I believe. Yeah, I mean, even looking at this, I'm like, I mean, I would have to look at the AEW roster page. I mean, there's certainly like people. I mean, there's like someone like Tekla who is new to the company that you could do a match with. But is Tekla beating? I mean, she could certainly. You give something to Triangle of Madness, but
I almost feel like the winner of her versus Jamie should go to face Tony.
Yeah,
you know, like that's the difficulty here.
I think like Deanna, I don't think has had a match, and that could easily be like a good.
Deanna's leaving. Come on.
I know. Yeah, like, I know. I agree.
Come
on.
No,
is Kiera Hogan? Is that? I think she's actually injured. She wrestled Megan Bayne yet?
No, she hasn't. That'd be interesting.
Megan Bayne's a solid pick.
I would actually love that. I think Megan Bayne's fantastic. So, if they were to build up Megan to beat Mercedes by just keep having her win, which she hasn't really lost since the Tony match, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. I don't think she's been pinned since that, at least. I wouldn't mind that. I'd be behind that. I think that's a great option if they want to do that. Maybe the only option.
Maybe the other names I'm seeing that she hasn't wrestled yet. Obviously, Tekla I already mentioned. Riho and Ruby Soho.
Well, I'm not counting on Riho ever again.
Yeah.
What a fascinating career she's had.
Ruby Soho, though, I think that's.
I can see them do the match. It's not.
It's like her return match at a pay-per-view or something.
Yeah, which is fine. You know, I can see them want that match.
I think she hasn't even wrestled Ty Conti either. So
I think Ruby Riott versus Sasha Banks was a thing back in the day.
Yeah, probably.
So they could run it back.
Yeah. I think there's certainly a problem, and I think, look, Scotty, if you want some maybe glimmer of hope of, look, you have 2 hamster wheels that we just need to buy time.
Yeah.
Look, I know it's a rumor. I know people talk about it all the time, but now is a really good time to then infuse and introduce women's tag titles.
Sure.
Because if you were literally on 2
and then you give those to Tony and Mercedes.
But if you literally have 2 hamster wheels that just need to buy some time, introduce the tag titles. That will eat up a lot of TV time. That will eat up a lot of that roster. You can get some people that shine off of that. It's not a bad idea if they want to do it. I just, who knows if they're doing it still. Yeah. Nah. Who knows?
We've been talking. People have been talking about it for like 4 years.
I know. People talk about it
when they had that tag tournament.
Yeah.
All right.
It's been a thing. It's one of the many albatrosses surrounding AEW as a company. Is these women tag titles? Shout out Brandy Rhodes. Next up, AEW World Title match. Adam Page defeats MJF. Scotty, I'm gonna take a sip of water. Go right ahead.
Yeah, there was a 3 count in this match, right? There was a 3 count that we just acted like didn't happen. And obviously I'm happy it didn't happen because it would have made MJF was world champion. That would have been awful. But like, I don't know. There's a certain point where this match falls off a cliff. And it's just spiraling. And you know, it's the snowball effect of like another thing and then another thing, and then it's like this all started on Wednesday, right? People would really love it, like they were behind the build. Oh, okay, the contract's online, all these different things, and they reset that.
They undo all of it on Wednesday in such a dumb story beat that I did not care for. That was overly complicated. Look. On the surface, yeah, we're comparing these 2 guys that are equally same and willing to use fire and all these sort of things, yada, yada, yada. On the surface, sure, but way too convoluted, undoes everything, makes everything more confusing, which is the classic MJF storytelling. On the paper, he needs to learn the idea of Occam's razor. Just simplify everything. His base ideas, I think, are really solid of like wrestling. But then he starts overthinking every single aspect of it to the point where it gets incredibly stupid.
During the show, when I was watching with my friend, he said MJF's just Triple H. And I was like, yes, that is correct. They are the same. They attack wrestling the same. He's just the modernized version of Triple H. And it stinks because Triple H also stunk. Terrible ideas, terrible execution. And I am now in the fearful state that they are doing to Hangman what they did to him the first time. MJF is replacing Adam Cole in that. I'm starting to feel that.
The irony.
I know, funny. But that's what it's starting to feel like. And that should not be what's happening. Because the way Hangman won and the ace-like figure he's become, that can't be the direction. And the fact, much like Adam Cole, that there's probably going to be a second match between these two, absolutely stinks.
Yeah.
The only way it's okay is if you have a super stipulation match that ultimately ends up with MJF still losing. Get Hangman away from this guy.
We also know they're going to have the match again. That's what also sucks about all this.
Right. Everything sucks when it involves MJF. That's just the reality.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. Like, I was so angry at the end of this match. Not because, like, I was very happy Hangman won. But it's like, why did we have to do all that? Like, you're already getting a second match. Why do we have to go through all these hoops? Like, it's not like we needed to make a reason for you to get a second match. No, you did that Wednesday. You made sure we did that Wednesday. And for some reason, it still felt like, oh, well, he used the briefcase and things like this. And it's like, Bryan Danielson's sitting there in commentary, like, can he just like wrestle in his current gear, get MJF out of there? Like, he doesn't have to do any neck bumps. We'll have a better match, guaranteed. Yeah. And it's just like, you look at this roster, you look at that main event, and now most of those people are hurt, so difficult. But you look at this roster, you look at the main event, you look at all these different things. There are so many great options for Hangman Page to face.
We pitched Kyle Fletcher earlier in February.
And I am convinced we should still do that.
Agreed.
I will not budge from that. But there are so many people for Hangman Page to have a great world title feud with.
He can go on a multi-month. He can go on a multi-month rivalry with everyone in Don Callis, and that could take up 6 months.
You're correct. Like, MJF versus Hangman has now happened twice this year. MJF has lost both matches. We do not have to keep doing this.
And he still has one match in the holster. Everything is pointing to MJF eventually beating Hangman for that title.
You and me, which is disgusting.
Agreed.
You and me talked about this when Hangman won the title. We were like, Ricochet would be a really cool TV defense. Ricochet's not on the spot to do that. Maybe he is now, kind of.
Well, he's spinning off the Hurt Syndicate, so
yeah, we'll see how that ends up going, because MJF seems to be maybe doing that as well. Also, by the way, I never celebrated that Ace Austin got signed. Very happy for him.
You also never mentioned Jamie Hayter returned as well.
Nice. Well, yeah, that was very funny how they did that.
Yeah,
happy for her, obviously. But like, okay, Hangman versus Bandito, Hangman versus Brody King, Hangman versus Brody King and Hangman in Texas Death. I mean, come on, guys. That's like unreal. It writes itself. Hangman versus no, not Cope. God, get out of my face. Darby Allin speaks for itself. We've talked about it. We said we should probably do that. Eddie Kingston, please come home. Hangman
we mentioned that maybe Hangman versus Gabe Kidd for this match. For this kind of show.
Right.
Obviously not something we would love to do, but Hangman versus, looking at other companies, Hangman versus David Finlay, Hangman versus Evil,
Hangman versus Takeshita, Hangman versus Mark Briscoe was teased to us, and they took it away from us.
Yeah,
I'm not okay with that, by the way.
That match is probably still going to happen, but
yeah,
all right,
which will be great, which will be unbelievably great, and we'll all be very happy for it. But there are avenues to go for Hangman Page to have a fantastic title reign, and none of them involve Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Yeah.
It was a bummer because this was his first pay-per-view defense, and it ended like that. Yes, he won.
Yep.
but like that referee stuff,
overly too cute
the
by
worst.
half.
Oh yeah.
Hangman versus
bummer.
hologram.
Fuck yeah. Why not? Why the hell not? I mean, hologram's still undefeated, is he not?
Earn the title. Come on, give me the title.
What is hologram, by the way? Like, what are we doing with that guy? The
I
problem
mean,
is, like, yeah, now Swerve and Osprey are gone, right? So, like, you do lose two big contenders you and me talked about ad nauseum. And by the way, I will say this: people have said this, like, oh, why didn't the Young Bucks just lose? Because the Young Bucks are in the midst of their best persona ever, and it's very funny, so let it be. I'm very much enjoying Rod and Todd. Okay, Mr. Instant Replay and Slick Nick are hysterical. Let's leave it as is. Them not having jobs is funny. And by the way, I know people hated it. I love the gummy bears. That made me laugh my ass off.
Wait, hold on. We'll get to it.
I'm
Hangman
sorry,
versus
I got ahead.
Hangman versus Pac.
Hangman versus Kota Ibushi at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I'm welcoming that all of a sudden, which is terrifying to think about, but I am.
Oh fuck! I was going to say a bit.
You can't say Kenny because I can't act like Kenny's around.
No. I was gonna say not a person, but a bit that I wanted to say. But Hangman, I don't remember what it was. The other thing I was gonna say that I do remember was, you got these comparisons back in 2019, even with Hangman and some of his promos and storytelling and everything. And after the first title reign, wasn't quite there. We talked about it and all these sort of things. And so far in title reign 2, and the vibes aren't great in terms of reign itself. Look, Scotty, I think I'm ready to dub this guy as more Dusty Rhodes than his actual son, because Hangman is the epitome, I think, right now of the destination. Sorry, what am I saying?
Yeah. He's better in the chase.
The chase. He's better in the chase.
Yeah.
Too early to tell, really, on the second title reign. This is a pre, like, maybe a little too early to tell, but there is vibes of like.
Here's where I'll argue with you.
I'm unsure. I'm going
to argue with you on this. I don't think this is his fault.
I don't think it's his fault either, but I think he is the kind of guy that also allows for these sort of things to be okay to happen. I think it's sort of like he has the sort of story structure to pay for the chase, but when it comes to the reign, it's the sort of thing of like Okada is really bad at putting together 15-minute matches. It's like, yeah, he can do this other thing really well, exceptionally well even, but the other thing is, you're just sort of like, okay, he can't really do that. Hangman can put together chase storylines like nobody's business, but when it comes to like the actual title reign, it's just like,
so
he allows other guys to do their pitches, and it's just sort of like, no, I want to see your thing, man.
I feel like most people would agree the reign was literally going good until this week.
Yeah, he's solid enough,
Like the MJF truck came through and blew everything up, so now it's like second guessing. I think what needs to happen is we need to just like figure out a way to let Hangman wrestle people that are more his style, and just get MJF and the WWE-isms out of here. That's all I'm asking, because what railroaded his last one was WWE-isms with Adam Cole. It's like, that's not what he does. I don't know. There's a way to make this great. I believe it. We've named all these people.
I genuinely think that I've said it once, said it a billion times. No, I haven't actually said this one, but this is the take I'm going to go with today.
But he said it a million times, though.
Everything I've heard of complained about MJF and the fucking mark tattoo and all these sort of things, I think it all leads to this take, Scotty. I think overall, this company would be better without MJF in it.
Oh, absolutely. I said that when he re-signed. I said him re-signing hurts AEW more than it helps WWE. Had he left for WWE, it would have helped them more.
Mm-hmm.
And it just proves more and more every time they give him a big match.
Now, that being said, I'm very excited for the Anniversario show with Mystico.
I'm not. I can't be.
That's fair.
I just can't make myself fall for it,
Mm-hmm. I'll also say this one thing about the world title match, and that is the sort of struggle of watching it and seeing the reaction online from fans in the building.
Yeah, I mean that's
the
every
shit
MJF
worked.
match.
The shit worked in the building.
People loved MJF versus Adam Cole in the building.
That's true. That's very
Do
true.
you love MJF versus Adam Cole?
No, I thought it was stunk rocks.
Exactly. Like
stinky rocks.
So like that's the difficulty. Like people are engaged in MJF stupidity match.
Stinky rocks.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Move on. Nope. We're done. We're done.
Yeah, it's who's the next guy? Who's the next guy for Hangman? Who's all out?
I don't know. They don't have anyone built up.
So MJF round 3, cash in, kind of. You know,
he's angry.
The way of cashing in a week before. Got Gift of the Gods title rules.
That's the problem with the contract. He gets all the rules. Fuck, give me Samoa Joe, man.
I know. The
ultimate savior of everything is just put Samoa Joe in the situation. Pac would be great because you could go back to 2019 and that.
Can I give you this other pitch that I know that I pitched before and everyone's gonna hate and you hate?
What?
If he still has months on the deal, Scotty, however long is left in this deal, and whatever the heck is happening, and you could have already built up to it with this sort of tease. I pitched it before for Double or Nothing, and I'll pitch it here for All Out. What if you did title versus career with Hangman and Chris Jericho? Loser leaves town sort of thing.
Oh my God.
You already built up this idea of Chris Jericho leaving. And this is the point of the show where we talk about Chris Jericho possibly leaving for WWE. But you've already built up in the fans' mind that Chris Jericho might be leaving. If he still has money on the deal, why not leave by putting over Hangman on a page even more, right? Winning the title, bringing back to Double or Nothing 2019, and just have it be like title versus career or like title versus loser leaves town, whatever you want to do there. Why not? It's that or MJF, Scotty. And that is your Sophie's choice of the episode.
I was going to say it's not the worst idea because the worst idea is MJF part 3. I don't think it's the worst idea. It's definitely not an idea I welcome.
Yeah. It comes with the promise of Jericho leaving after it.
Yeah, that's true. That's the win.
Versus MJF comes with the promise of probably winning title.
Sometimes I go through this roster and I'm like, wow, this roster's weak all of a sudden. Because like all the people I wanted to point out are hurt or busy or hurt or busy or hurt or whatever the fuck Kenny Omega is. A little bit of both. Yeah, because now I can't include Swerve and Ospreay, so like it instantly takes a major hit.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris Jericho, God.
Yeah. I don't love it either.
Let's talk about a real guy that can barely move, but actually gives me passion when he can't move.
That's right. Lights out steel cage match, main event. Darby Allin, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Will Ospreay defeat the Death Riders, Gabe Kidd, and the Young Bucks. Look, I thought this match ruled. I went 4.5. I really loved it.
Blast.
The Reddit dweebs, who, if you saw the post on Reddit, Scotty, Squared Circle, of
I didn't.
they posted the fork
dweebs.
spot.
Oh,
comment after comment after comment after comment, Scotty, of people being like, this is not what I signed up for. This isn't wrestling. This is way too violent. This is way too gory and gross. This is not what wrestling means to me. This is disgusting. How dare they put this on television? How dare they put this on my screen? The fucking dorks out there, Scotty, who saw that fork spot and walked away being like, that's not my wrestling. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Get it off my chest. Shut the fuck up. You know what my wife said? I don't know. I'll tell you this. You know what will happen? My wife hates fork spots. My wife leaves the room when thumbtacks come out. Leaves the room when barbed wire happens. Now my throat's going. At a time like this, my wife got up from the couch as soon as the fork came out and walked to the kitchen to do whatever she was doing And then the fork spot happened, and me, my friend's wife, Jesse, and basically the other room looking between her fingers, we're all like, oh my God, holy shit, that's disgusting and gross and gory. And after all of that, everyone enjoyed it. Everyone enjoyed the match. Everyone said the match was so much fun, the best match of the night. And after all my friends left, I asked Jesse, hey, what'd you think of that spot? Because I saw the Reddit dweebs complaining about it. And she said, it was disgusting. I loved it. I'm like, fuck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That's AEW, baby. That's what I'm talking about. The rest of this match ruled. I thought Hiroshi Tanahashi at the very end trying to climb the thing and like
that's my ace, baby.
And Ibushi and Ospreay bringing it down, only for Ospreay to quickly climb the cage and do a moonsault. Insanity.
Meanwhile, his neck is a mess.
The post-match bullshit of attacking Ospreay, which was a really good like blow-off sort of angle, because then it leads to him getting redemption against Moxley and everything, which is I think a solid way to do that. But then the part of it of online, there was video of Kota Ibushi just running full steam into the cage and bouncing off. There's a shot. There's a shot where the camera's passing. I didn't see anyone online point this out. The shot where they're beating up Will Ospreay in the cage and people are trying to climb it or whatever. You can just see in the background Kota Ibushi full punches to the steel cage door. I'm like, this guy fucking rules.
Oh,
the Gummy Bears, which was ridiculous in the sense that, you know, any sort of door coming in without any of the context is going to be like, oh, that's dumb and all this sort of stuff. It's part of all these jokes and everything. They set it up, I think, in the pre-show or before the show or whatever. Of like, you know, we want all the violent weapons that he can bring, and then, you know, it was context to why that spot was funny. And just I thought like that ruled. Gabe Kidd, the usual, overdoing it too much. As soon as he starts walking out entrance, he's like crab crawling everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, guy? Bring it down several notches.
Has a guy ever lost as much stock as he has in a less than year span?
By his own hand, by his own accord.
Yeah, like the guy started off the year as high as could be.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing?
And he is just sunk to a level where everyone's like, this dude stinks.
Yeah. I thought this last night steel cage match was oodles of fun. I thought it was violent and gory as it should have been. I don't think it was like the best match ever. Like I said, I didn't say it was 5 or anything. I thought, like, you know, we've talked about it previously. I think some of the New Japan steel cage matches are a little bit better, because I think obviously with the participants in this match, there was a little bit more walking around and what are we going to do next and everything. Like, one of the reasons I really like that first sort of steel cage match of this modern space is like how brutal it got, and just like ripping up the ring and exposing the floorboards. I was half expecting that. I just loved this, and it was so much fun. I like this more than Anarchy in the Arena at this point,
I just need you to pause for a second. I just need to get this off before you continue. This is so much better than Blood and Guts. Continue.
Yes, I think this is a better format than Blood and Guts. I think this is a better format than Anarchy in the Arena. I think both have different things that can be fun, but this is a steel cage match that you can do where you don't have to do the obligatory climb the roof with Blood and Guts like they do all the time. This is something that is more congealed and easier to follow compared to Anarchy in the Arena. I just think that this sort of format of these multi-man steel cage violent matches works better here than in those other two formats. I love this. I think you got to go forward with this kind of match type.
It's contained, but not too contained. Literally the perfect middle ground of both those matches.
Yeah.
I thought this was by quite easily my favorite match of the show. Like, it wasn't even a competition. Like, this was the one I was like, man, I'm so happy this closed the show. I'm trying to see the parts I want to talk about here in order. Gabe Kidd sucks. Besides that, incredible Young Bucks performance.
Yep.
Incredible Young Bucks performance, because they're the most healthy people in the match. By a lot. By a
significant margin. Could have might have torn his shoulder again by the end of the match.
I'm staring. I'm like, kind of crazy. Darby Allin's the most healthy going into this match by a lot for this team. Not by the end, but early on he was.
Oh,
so
yeah.
shouts out to him. I knew he wouldn't be by the end.
Claudio was like a great hand to have in this.
Yeah,
Like I don't remember anything significant about Claudio in this match.
He played bass.
But he played bass and did all that stuff here, which is great.
That's why he's here, you know. Moxley was great. Moxley's been really good as of late. Gabe Kidd sucks. Oh, I already said that. Sorry, I just want to say it again. Hiroshi Tanahashi. Wait, no. I need to get this off. Hiroshi Tanahashi, bless this man's heart. This guy went through a G1, destroyed his knees. This guy can barely move, right? He's like you're watching him in there and you're like, oh, it kind of hurts for me to watch. But like even the spot where it's him against everyone, and my friend's sitting there watching, he's never watched a big time Tanahashi match in his life. But he's like, this guy rules. He's old as shit. He can barely move, but this is fighting spirit, baby. I was like, exactly. That is why Tanahashi's here. Not here for the big moment, though. I do love that he got the pin. I thought that was a nice touch in his last England match.
I'm gonna put a pin in that pin.
Yeah. But Tanahashi absolutely was killing me. Like, he knew his role. He would get out when he needed to get out, get in when he needed to get in. Could barely move, but by golly, did he have the heart to do it.
Yeah.
Kota Ibushi might just be good again, which is
good.
Odd.
I'm happy. I'm extremely happy about that.
Highly unexpected, I'd argue.
Again, my concern is that he may have torn his shoulder or something again.
Yeah.
He was pointing at a lot and talking to Omega, who looked concerned. Yeah, and when they lifted his arms, he was really like in pain.
Yeah. He also rammed into the cage, so that probably didn't help. Maybe he was trying to re-put it in.
Great point. Immediately after that, he then punched the cage and ran full speed into it.
So I think he might be fine. I think he might just be a maniac. Kenny Omega, this guy is so clearly beaten up, hurt, all these different things. My friend was watching. He's like, Kenny looks old now. I was like, he does.
Yeah.
But if the bell rings, Kenny Omega is going to give you literally everything he has in the tank.
Yep.
And that is what he did. He might not have to take another 3 months off, but he gave you every ounce of what he had in this match. You didn't feel like he's been out since All In and probably is going to be out again. You know? It didn't feel like that because
it's the same thing that Tanahashi has, right?
Yeah.
Tanahashi, obviously way older, way less mobility.
Yeah.
But the same sort of thing of like, he has the tank of heart, determination, and he is going to give you everything.
And then, of course, Mr. Ospreay. Very emotional night for him. That opening video for him was incredible from Alex Windsor. I thought that entire production was great. And I asked myself when it was over, I was like, why are the Death Riders coming out after him? Because I was like, I'm emotionally invested. Like, when he got to the top of the cage, I was like, yeah, he should have just jumped on them all. Like, that was sick.
Yeah.
But that entire entrance and all that, and then his performance.
He told Yuta's commentary bump.
Yeah, he told you he's going away for a long time. That it was this match for him. I'm going away for a long time. That was the video told you. Me and my friend kept looking at each other like, oh my god, they're gonna kill him off. Whatever this is, they're gonna kill him off.
Basically.
And then like when he was saying goodbye to everyone, we're like, man, he's gonna be gone for a long time. And then they actually killed him off. And I was like, oh shit, okay. But he left it all out there as well.
They did it was a great job of giving you a happy ending in terms of the match, but then setting up a big time heat angle to build anticipation.
It is very funny that the only people that get heat are the Death Riders.
There's something to say there,
admittedly, because they did the same thing with Danielson, obviously, when they beat him. So I think that's interesting. Because like they're the top heels in the company, but they're not going to face the world champion next. So I think that, but Darby's going to benefit from it instead, which I think is cool, assuming he's okay. He went through a lot in this match, as you'd expect, because like I said, going in, he was the most healthy man on the team.
Yeah.
First match of the year too. But yeah, this was just great. This was just a great main event.
Eternal Pure, great shout out on the bumps. The bump from the top of the cage to the tables is crazy. Gabe took all on his shoulder and head. And not only that, but Darby basically landed only on Gabe Kidd.
Yeah, I said that to my friend. I turned to my friend. I was like, because my friend never has really watched Gabe Kidd, but he's like, I hate this guy. He's like, everything about him disturbs me. I was
Join the
like,
club.
you're correct. He's when he fell, he's like, oh, that's too bad. He was like, he was just like, I don't like him. I was like,
crazy
I'm
ass
with you.
bump. Crazy
But
ass bump.
that was a crazy bump because Darby took 0 of it. That was the safest bump Darby took somehow because he didn't land on anything besides Gabe, which was pretty crazy. Also, the one where he just got yeeted into the wall.
Yeah,
that was a great spot.
Yeah.
Sorry, Darby.
I call that the Spike Dudley.
Yeah, he is. He does. That is pretty much what he is. They built up Darby and John Moxley very well to me.
Yeah,
too.
I think that's the all-out match. It's got to be at this point.
I think you get away. I think. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the finish of this match. I really enjoyed the One Wing Angel Hidden Blade combination. That was really cool and fun. I've never thought about it, but as soon as they set that up, I was like,
didn't they hit that in the Proto Shida match?
Possibly, I don't recall. But I saw it again. I was like, that rules. But then like I wasn't expecting. I thought that would have been the finish, but the sweetness of having Tanahashi,
it was the cherry on top.
Cherry on top of him getting the finish. For me, it's like a multi-part thing there. It's Tanahashi getting the pinfall of this older gentleman as the president of New Japan. It's like a nice little bit for the lack of New Japan-ness of this show as a whole. It was nice to see him pick up the victory, pick up the pin at the very end. Number 2, it's nice to give him this as both a send-off from the UK, from London, but probably as a send-off to AEW as well, more than likely, with Tanahashi getting the win before his retirement January 4th. And number 3, Scotty, this is pure conjecture, but look, a lot of the build-up of the show was, do we really need to be doing Forbidden Door shows anymore? These co-promoted, joint promoted things? And to a degree, of course, I agree to that sentiment. But to that end, in third, there's this bit of Tanahashi, that being the theme of this pay-per-view of previews going into it. And then having Tanahashi be the guy who invented the term Forbidden Door, right? To then get the pinfall, for me, was like, you could end Forbidden Door here on this note. And we no longer need this term, no longer need this idea. It's no longer forbidden. It's now expanded globally. Rev Pro, AEW, CMLL, Stardom, New Japan. It's we're on the global wars. You can just end it right there with Tanahashi, the guy who coined the term, getting the pinfall in the main event of Forbidden Door pay-per-view. I think it would work really, really well. I think it would. I think, to me, that's the closing of all of this for Tanahashi. I see Eternal in the chat theorizing that they believe that Tana could work the C2. That maybe that could be interesting.
Oh my god!
To me, this is too perfect of an ending for Tanahashi here. That I would just say, let's keep it. Let's keep it here.
I'd put the bow on Forbidden Door, come up with a new name, make it everyone, call it a day. You could just keep Wrestle Dynasty if you really felt like it. Don't really care what the name is, but I think that would be perfect because I agree with you. In many ways, him getting that pin, ending it, and them all standing tall was really nice. And it kind of showcased really the hopes and dreams of Forbidden Door, all in one. Having Kenny there, having Ospreay there, having fucking Kota Ibushi there.
Will Ospreay coming out for his entrance and hugging everybody.
Yeah. Like, it was a great ending. Like, it felt like the series finale of Forbidden Door, right? You're watching Okada wrestle in an AEW brand and things like that. He's just moved on, right? Nothing a part of him feels like New Japan anymore, for better or worse. And I think that's kind of a good way to end it. And call it a day. So for me, I would be happy if this was the end of Forbidden Door.
Open it up to a Global Wars or something.
Global Wars.
Even Wrestle Dynasty is not a bad idea, but
I mean, they have the name. It's
Yeah.
there. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they own it, so they could do it. But yeah, something new. I understand why they won't because branding or whatever. But I think it would be an idea worth considering, and you do it a different part of the year. You have literally like the first 3 months of the year, you don't do a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Just move it then. There's no tournaments going on. That's when New Japan calms down. That's when Stardom's calm down. That's when CMLL's calm down. Like, because they're just kicking off the year, right?
Yep.
And CMLL is a lot more flexible because they're right there, so you don't have to worry about
Yeah.
they can just fly to the show.
But
I think that would be the best.
So incredibly deep, you would just pick anybody, really.
Exactly. Like I think that would be best for all parties. And I think we would all enjoy it more that way if we moved on from Forbidden Door, because I think it puts less pressure on the relationship with New Japan and just lets it be what it is, what it should be.
Yeah, when this all started, New Japan was obviously not in a great spot, but in a better spot. And since then, it's very much in a early sort of 2000s, 2010s stage of, we got a lot of guys, but we don't have any real stars, and we're very much in a rebuilding thing. And we're just sort of figuring it out, right? And
next year, you will no longer bring in Tanahashi. You will no longer bring in Naito. Like, you'll no longer. They already signed Okada. Like, there's no reason this needs to be the show anymore.
Yeah, which is why they should bring in Evil, House of Torture.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. But at this point, I don't even think they deserve Evil.
Yeah.
There, I said it.
We don't want Evil at AEW.
Yeah. Evil can piss other people off. You don't deserve him.
I agree.
It's true. They don't deserve him.
Well, that's Forbidden Door. That's the review of Forbidden Door, of course. More than an hour, 30 minutes, as we expected. Let's quickly move into
it better now that we talked about it. Funny enough,
there's
still things I disliked from it, like the Athena and Tony match, and things like that, which is fine and World of Sport. But much like I felt in MJF, but much like I felt yesterday when the show ended, I was like, well, that was a great main event, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Look, and I really enjoyed the show. I think it's currently in like top 5 of the year, actually. That's how much I really enjoyed the show.
Wow. I will say this, though. I meant to say this before I moved on. I need AEW to get back on the builds for the smaller shows.
Yeah.
You like really lock in for All Out. And they Tony Khan, you have to lock in for All Out. Because I don't know if you know this, WrestlePalooza is on that day. And I know you're going to want to beat them. I know it. You're going to want to have the best show that day. And most people will say, well, it doesn't take much. But listen, they're sending John Cena. They're sending, who else was in that? They're sending Roman, I think.
Sending Cody. I have the list.
They're sending Cody. Oh, you have the list. You've got the list. I was going to do Ring
of Honor, but if you want to talk the ESPN deal, we can talk about it.
All right. Bring it up. Well, my point was load up All Out. Make it undeniable. Make it the best.
We'll quickly go through this. The Wrestling Observer reported that the WWE with ESPN, this is literally from the Observer, the WWE deal with ESPN is debuting 7 months early than has been announced, with the first show on the new ESPN app being WrestlePalooza on September 20th from the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Indianapolis. This, of course, is the same exact day, going head-to-head, the show starting at 7 p.m., by the way, with AEW All Out in Toronto. Obviously the pre-show matches will probably start at like 6:30, and with the 3-hour format of the WWE pay-per-views that's been sort of going to, there is a good shot that a WrestlePalooza will end before All Out is even close to their main event matches, just in terms of their length of their pay-per-views. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Announced so far, well, they didn't announce. It's headlined by John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. They did not advertise Lesnar for the show. I wonder why they wouldn't advertise it. But it's obviously headlined by Cena versus Brock. Also announced for the show are Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and also the return of Pat McAfee on commentary, because obviously that's what's going to sell tickets. So the big thing about that, so it's going head-to-head. The big thing about the new ESPN app deal and all this sort of stuff is that we knew this deal take place, but then it comes out that we're going to it immediately. That's because all WWE main roster PLE shows will be moving from Peacock to the new ESPN app that debuted on 8/21. The new app, blah, blah, blah. We already talked about that. but basically it's happening immediately. The reason WWE was able to get out of their deal with Peacock was because they believed, which is a weird sentence here, Dave, they believed they had fulfilled the commitment because the original deal called for a certain number of shows over the course of 5 years. They reached that number with Clash in Paris because of adding a second day of WrestleMania for the last several years, the second day of SummerSlam, as well as adding Evolution. So by loading up the calendar for the past several times, they believe they have fulfilled their commitment with Peacock, and they are moving on to ESPN. ESPN is what I should say. The other thing about this, obviously, is that it looks like Peacock still wants a little bit of something, a little concern. So what they're doing is that they're taking this Saturday Night's Main Event deal, they're taking it off of, was it broadcast television or cable broadcast? I don't remember. They're taking it off of NBC, right? And they're going to put it exclusively on streamer, on Peacock moving forward.
See, that's a victory.
For whom?
Because no commercials.
Well, there'll be the WWE commercial sort of things, but yeah.
Yeah, but like, you know, John Cena's last match won't be cut into 7 pieces.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a victory in sense of that. It's a negative in sense
it's
of
an absolute L.
Technically, they're now going off of TV and just going onto a streamer and seemingly not getting more money out of it or anything.
I mean, why would they get more money to go to streaming? I feel like it's a loss for NBC because they paid for it to be on TV and it clearly failed.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think I see that as a failure, and they're moving it to Peacock to try to maintain some some streamers and maintain some audience from not leaving.
Yep. I mean, NBC is the one to lose. Really, WWE's fine. They're still getting paid money out the wazoo. So,
but that's the other side. Talk about it is that one of those dates for Saturday Night Main Event is going to be the John Cena retirement show. So that's definitely good.
That's a
definitely
big win.
For them. So what do we think of all this? Loading up, using Evolution as a way to get out of a deal with Peacock is very funny in a not great way. But what do we think about, we're switching to ESPN immediately. It's happening as soon as All Out. And we've basically used this year not only to get out of our deal with Peacock, but also at the same time, coincidentally, Scotty, counter program with AEW, especially with the debut show on ESPN. What do we think about all this?
It's fascinating. It's well, I'll get this off the rip. WWE sucks.
Of course, naturally.
Yeah, but it's very interesting. They've given up on the NXT competition and have fully broken down to now putting a main roster as competition. And I think that just shows AEW winning more so. Sure. But at the same time, I think it also is, and you're not gonna nope, people may not agree with me. It's a good thing. You know why it's a good thing? Because it means Tony Khan's gonna want to put together an even better card than he might have had planned and things like that. So competition is a good thing in the wrestling business, no matter how much WWE disagrees with that statement and they want to make TNA the number 2. That will never happen. I just saw Dana Brooke became Knockouts champion. And who's their world champion? Yes, WWE's own Trick Williams. So that's not going to happen. But my whole thing with this is that it creates a very interesting conversation when the shows arrive. Yeah. I think it'll be a lot. The ESPN stuff is just wild. I mean, the fact that not only did ESPN pay guarantee losing amount of money, like they're not gaining from that, just so that they could have WWE be like this little aspect of their big worldwide app that covers every sport in the world. Obviously replacing UFC in many ways because UFC announced their deal recently with Paramount.
Yep.
But I think it's just fascinating to see it all come together so fast and make a new show for it and all these different things. But hey, good. I see. If I'm Tony Khan, I'm taking this as a victory. You have peeved them off so much that they are putting together a brand new show on their brand new streaming network on the same day as your pay-per-view,
and bringing back Brock to do it.
bring back Brock Lesnar's first match, a John Cena match, a Cody Rhodes match, a CM Punk match, a Becky, like every draw they got in the tank. Not Seth Rollins because he's not a draw and stinks. He's on it, but I'm not bringing him up.
Drew McIntyre, also not a draw, very much not a draw
either. But they're loading up that card with, on paper, could be their card of the year. I don't know what it's gonna be. I'm just gonna act like it. I'm gonna act like it for the sake of they're probably wanting to impress ESPN at the same time.
Yep.
You've done it. You've won. You have won. You have pissed them off to eternity that they are now putting a main roster pay-per-view against you. And if I'm Tony Khan, I'm seeing if I can move that pay-per-view up to like 4:00 Eastern, just get the edge, make them look stupid in the end, because it's not at the same time. Sure, they end the night with the conversation because their show goes last. Who cares?
Yeah.
AEW fans are going to tune into AEW because it's an AEW pay-per-view.
Plus, you're then also going to have the next day all the people watching AEW complaining that the show was too long.
Of course.
So you'll get like that PR out of it in terms of WWE Pro,
right?
Sort of thing of like,
sure. Which the shows are just long. We know this.
Yeah,
I've decided on this. I've settled this. It's always going to be too long.
You talk to your God, your priest, your
lawyer,
your doctor.
I could do so many things in the hours I watch an AEW pay-per-view, but I sit down and watch it. And it's on a Saturday this time, so victory there. But yeah, it's all fascinating. ESPN, what are you doing? Congrats on the loss of money. But I'm intrigued. If there's going to be a WWE pay-per-view we watch again and talk about again on this show, I don't really want it to be that one because Brock's going to be on it. But at the same time, it feels like that will be the one because it's going head to head with All Out.
I know it's the.
There is a great bit though I've thought of already. We're gonna review both of them, and then we just don't review All Out.
Lock and load.
WrestlePalooza.
Yeah, I mean, I am mentally having that struggle of like, it's the same thing of like the first Triple Mania under WWE. It's like, look, I don't know how good the show will be, and there's certainly aspects I'm not really care for. I mean, especially WrestlePalooza with Brock Lesnar. Cannot speak about that enough. But this idea of like, look, there's this historical significance to it. There's this worldwide, back to back. It's the first ESPN. There's a lot loaded into it where it's like
between main roster and AEW.
The producer in my head, Scotty, is like, we gotta talk about that show. Yeah. I hate to say it, but
we don't have to talk about the Brock match if we don't want to. Try to find ways to we can watch the full show, but we don't have to acknowledge that guy.
That's true. We'll figure it out as we get closer.
We will. And as it's really close. Terrifying.
Next month. Literally.
That's why this is crazy. I hope Tony absolutely loads up All Out and gives a big middle finger to WWE with the card. That's what I would like him to do.
I agree. Just to wrap up the bow, ESPN deal now means, since it's starting at this point, it's going to end August 23rd instead of March 2031, as we thought it was going to happen at WrestleMania. And apparently that the remainder of the contract with Peacock, according to Dave, I guess in regards to Saturday Night's Main Event, is October of 2029. So look out for that. So instead of ending there, they're just going straight into ESPN and closing out with that. Yeah, and obviously, David the Observer talks about the taking it off of TV, even with John Cena's retirement, now not airing on television, is kind of crazy and kind of showcases how little. I mean, there's a theme here also that we're building up. It's not just the Fox of it all, right? With them leaving, with Fox having nothing to do with SmackDown anymore. It's now you have this other bit of like Peacock and NBC being like, yeah, we're just gonna take you off of TV. We're not gonna bother with this. We're just gonna make it on Peacock, and frame it as like, look, we're trying to save face a little bit here in terms of not losing a bunch of subscribers, but also like it's kind of an admission of like, this isn't quite working. And it's a theme now. It's a trend we're starting to build with WWE and all these. They sign these great deals, but then like is Disney in 5 years going to be happy with what they got? I think there's a good possibility, like you already said, that this is a money losing deal for Disney. There's a good possibility Disney will not be happy with what they got, and they will not take those pay-per-views again.
Very true. But hey, they win. WWE still wins in the end.
Yeah, it's a lot of short term.
They win.
A lot of short term. So we'll see how it goes.
They're making $1 billion from their bum ass shows.
Oh yeah, that is true. I don't like it. I don't like it whatsoever.
Like most of their pay-per-views are bad this year, and yet they still got this deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor. Real quickly, it's a show that's happening this Friday in the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia because AEW is starting their 2300 Arena residency this Wednesday. In fact, I believe it is on Honor Club on ringofhonorwrestling.com. So check it out there. We only have 4 matches announced so far, and 4 matches. Some great barn burners here, Scotty. Of course, we're starting with QT Marshall versus Paul Walterhauser in a fight without honor.
A real shot to be the worst match of the year. Like a great shot.
I'm not excited to see this one.
Remember Johnny whatever
Johnny TV and
Johnny
Dalton Castle? Yeah.
We're gonna try to follow that up.
Do you think Dalton Castle makes his return doing the same opposite bit?
No, I didn't know he still wrestled.
I think he was injured, I think is what it was.
Oh, too bad.
Then, with that muck out of the way, Scotty, we get some 3 solid matches here. We get Ring of Honor Women's World Title, Athena versus Mina Shirakawa. Just the women's title.
Isn't Mina the mid-card champion?
Yeah, she is the TV champion, I believe, here in Ring of Honor. So we get that here. Not only one title on the line. There's something I would have liked with both titles on the line. Give Athena something. But alas, we just had that conversation.
Athena's going to win. I'll tell you that.
Uh-huh. We also have here a match, me personally, extremely excited about, Scotty. Ring of Honor Pure title match, Lee Moriarty versus Shewa, CMLL wrestler, who's like 20-something, I think, 21 years old. Great.
I'm so happy you say his name and not me.
Shewa. Great technical wrestler. Definitely like world is his oyster. A guy that like I can't wait to see him wrestle Zack Sabre Jr. eventually, and all these different guys later in their time. I'm glad he's getting exposed to the stage against Lee Moriarty. I can't wait to see it. I'm very excited for that. And of course, the main event, Ring of Honor World Title match, Bandito versus Hechicero. Even more interesting now that Bandito is the tag team champion for AEW. One has to wonder if Hechicero is winning the big one.
No.
They don't want to put more gold into the Don Callis family?
No, because Bandito rules.
Yeah.
Bandito rules. Until you're ready to give Bandito a singles belt on the main roster, you stay. This should be great, though. Mm-hmm. It should be great. Hopefully, they pack this show with a few more good matches.
Yeah, I mean, there's the pure women's title that's missing. There's the isn't that one? I said pure women's title because Eternal brought that up. That title doesn't exist, right?
Still, no. No. Eternal always brings it up, and no, it doesn't.
I fell for his trap yet again.
Oh yeah, it's not a real belt. You got the tag belts, which you can't defend because Dustin's hurt.
I think I heard a rumor.
Well, you got the trios belts, which you also can't defend because Dustin's hurt.
I heard a rumor that they're going to do the trios match, but instead of Dustin, they're going to do Sammy.
And you can't defend the television title because Nick Wayne's hurt. Oh God, and you can't. Oh Jesus. Okay. So Red Velvet's still technically the television champ, by the way. Mina's the interim.
Correct. Mina is the interim. You're
so
right.
By default, 1, 2, 3, 4 of their champions are injured.
Yep.
Yeesh. And you can't call on CMLL because I'm pretty sure the Grand Prix is this week on Friday. So you've already called on CMLL twice on this show. You're not getting more from them. So yeah.
I think, like I said, I think you do a 6-man title with the Von Erichs and Sammy versus somebody.
Sure.
Other than that,
Or
another women's match, probably.
look at the Ring of Honor roster.
I was already looking at the roster page. There's so many people on here that are also injured. I was like Brian Cage, Christopher Daniels is retired. Don't know why he's there.
Yeah, that's weird.
Dalton Castle. I want to say that one of the Renegades is injured. Kyle Fletcher still has a picture from last year before he bush shaved his head. The classic Ring of Honor roster page bit for the Ring Post Radio here.
Matt Taven and Mike Bennett don't wrestle.
Look, I mean, it's just a lot of I don't know what you're gonna do. I think it's gonna be maybe the 6-man tag titles match.
Shane
You do
Taylor,
another women's match.
Dean, and Bravo probably.
You do Mina versus Trish Adora.
Dude, Mina's already fighting Athena.
You're right. You're right. I like this one. I love this one. Eternal says they should book Adam Priest versus AR Fox. Obviously, I'm going to
sure. Why the hell not?
Do that. Why not? What? Just you know what? Just have Adam Priest defend his Deadlock Pro title. Why not? Who cares? Give me something else. You know, Adam Priest versus Jake something. No, why not? Do that.
Maybe just don't do this show.
Yeah, it's
maybe just do the 3 title matches.
Yeah, call it a day.
They already called on Paul Walterhauser. We're already in the shits. We're already calling on MLW talent, so that's tough.
That is certainly true. Well, Scotty, we went with the ESPN route. Do we circle back around and close up shop with Stardom, or do we just move on and finish out the show?
I'll leave it up to you.
We can quickly mention Stardom. Obviously, you've been following it day by day for the 5-star Grand Prix.
Yes.
The finals took place on Saturday in Ota City General Gymnasium in Tokyo. If I'm not mistaken, attendance 28,506 was the attendance, which was, if I saw correctly, the highest attendance ever for a 5-star Grand Prix final. Which is obviously great business and continues to show like, hey, look, this company's doing really well, and hurts the Hall of Fame case of Rossi Ogawa ever more as the months go by. But I watched the main event. Obviously, I watched the finals of it. I also watched I looked at your sheet. I saw the recommendation for Azme versus Rina.
Yeah.
That match ruled.
Yeah.
I thought that match was really great. The main event, I don't know. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I liked the Azme Rina match more.
I did too. The Azme Rina match, for what it's worth, was my favorite match of the entire tournament, which most people don't agree with. I just like the dramatics of it, quite frankly. I thought it actually embodied more of the dramatics than I wanted the final to embody. Yeah. No, I thought the final was very good. I went 4 on it, but yeah, I think overall the finals and the tournament itself ended up being really, really strong. I ended up being very happy with it. It turned a corner in a very exact point, which was the first Korakuen show. Just kicked into in second gear, and really, really ended up being quite entertaining. Momo Watanabe winning the tournament is
kind of surprising for me.
Genuine shock. Mostly because, as someone who watched the entire tournament, there were very few moments she ever felt like she was being presented as the one to win the tournament. You know, many times you kind of get an idea of how you're building a wrestler and how you build a wrestler through their tournament and their story of the tournament. Momo was not built to be that. Now, it doesn't matter because I was beyond happy that she won.
Yeah.
Because, it's been something that many fans, myself included, have wanted for years, of her getting that moment. And ultimately, it creates the best story point for Saya Kamitani, if that is the route, because of their history and the possibilities come from that. So I was very happy with that. And overall, I think the MVP of the tournament was 18-year-old Rina, who they put in the semifinal. She is the best sister. Sorry, Hanan. Sorry, Hina. And she's ready for the Wonder of Stardom title. That should be the end of the year. She should be taking that. Azumi had a kind of a slow start to the tournament, but really turned it on to be Azumi. Those last couple, like her last week was incredible. She had a great match against Saya Kamatani on the Corkin show. She had a great match against who the hell else did she face? Checks the notes. Oh, Hanan. And then she had the great one with Rena, and then closed it out with Momo. It was really cool to see her make the final as well. Overall, that final was a stunner. I never expected either of them to make it, let alone against each other, which is a good thing. It can be definitely a good thing. Part of my there's good and bad. Is it bad that I never thought Momo was winning this tournament? Maybe a little.
Yeah, she's been sort of beat up over the years in terms of the booking.
Yeah, right. So like,
I quite frankly, I kind of feel like she's in this spot, and to a degree, Azumi as well, because of the AEW pushing her or showcasing her a little bit this year, first half of the year. I hate to say that, but like,
no, I thought about it when they were both
why
there.
do this realistically 180 change on Momo all of a sudden?
Yeah,
like
I mean,
feels like that.
Another take I overall had from the match or the final is that, and I've said this throughout the entire tournament, none of this really, like, your winner didn't matter because whoever's winning isn't beating Saya Kamatani.
Yeah.
Because you would be out of your mind to take that belt off of her anytime soon. No matter how you feel about Saya Kamatani, business-wise, you would need to be like taken out. If you take this belt off of her. The rise in popularity in this promotion and the overall strength of this promotion comes with Saya Kamatani.
Yeah.
For better or worse. And that is what Tam Nakano helped set up. Obviously, and I still think she is setting up as we speak, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, overall it was a really good tournament. I'm happy with it. So hopefully they go the right path with Momo. That's the next step. If they don't do the story, I'm a little hesitant because, like you said, she did the promo like, "Oh, there's champions all around the world, yada yada yada." It's if you don't challenge for that red belt, I will lose my mind.
Very dubious sort of thing. I mean, if you want to stick with,
I think Stardom fans would too. To be fair,
yeah, I think if you want to stick it within Stardom and get out of the red belt territory, Suri, right?
Yeah, she beat her.
I know.
So like,
I know. So I'm just sort of like, oh, that's the only other thing if you want to stay within Stardom, obviously. So I don't know what you do.
I think you just got to do the world title. It's just so easy. It's so easy, and like, hate doesn't need Momo anymore. They've elevated Rena to be that number 2 now with Saya,
especially with the semifinal as well.
Right. So I think that's the path. I'm happy with it. And start what I wanted the 5-star to do for me after a kind of bumpy few months post Queendom. Was get me excited for the end of the year. I'm excited for the end of the year. So that's a big thumbs up. Now I just hope they stick the landing here, which isn't Momo even winning the belt. It's literally just facing Saya for the belt.
Yeah, I agree.
All I asked for.
I agree. Just to say, like, why I maybe didn't really like this match as much. Ironically enough, Scotty, this felt more like the kind of match I expected to see in the G1 finals. Like in terms of the interference and involvement, and like more of it being being more constant throughout the match.
Momo's hate doesn't get involved for anyone besides Momo, and I think that's probably your story point. Oddly enough, but it takes a lot out. I don't know if you saw the second Saria one.
The second Saria one.
Yeah, so they faced twice. They faced once.
Oh, okay. In the
last week. Yeah, and then they faced at the Cork and on Wednesday. And the match was really good. And then they just had the most egregious run-ins from hate.
Yeah.
That like angered a lot of people to get Momo the win. And yeah, that's like the one thing that when Momo matches, it's very House of Torture. With everyone else, it does not matter. It's clearly something they're going for, I would hope. Otherwise, it's like, why are we doing it? Though I did like the don't part. That was the great story point of that match is I'm doing this myself. So that, again, kind of sets the story in motion that it needs to be her and Saya. And if it's her and Saya, whether that be at the November show or Queendom, I'm happy. It should be Queendom, but,
alas.
We like to rush
Bushiroad top-down decision to not put it on the big show anymore.
Very clearly. So if they want to do it in November, fine, so be it.
Yeah, she's creating boundaries, and now it's just about expanding the gulf of that boundaries.
Yeah. If they do the Momo match in November, Sari's going to be the Saya match in December. It's happening. There's no way it doesn't happen.
That makes sense.
It has to. That's why Sari's there at this point. Like, it's for that match. We're getting Sari versus Suzuki in 2 weeks, so I won in the end. I don't really give a shit about anything else. We're also getting Saya versus Bea Priestley, which was not a victory in my book, but
here we are.
Bea Priestley also signed a full-time contract with Stardom, so that sucks.
All right. Well, there we go. Obviously, good on Momo, and I'm excited to see where that goes for them. A solid enough finish here. Obviously, we'll see if it's against Saya Kamatani. Obviously the wrong Saya holding the red belt. We can all agree, as Eternal Puro points out. Saya Ida won.
Eternal will be in agreement with you on that one.
Playing that chess, baby. All right.
That's my favorite thing. Real quick. That's my favorite thing about like Eternal watches Stardom. But my favorite thing I've learned like from people that like dive into Stardom here and there, Saida is like almost always their favorite, and I think that's awesome. But also kind of sad because they'll never push her.
Yeah, no. It's the underdog. It's the underdog
I always call her their Ishii.
Underdog.
Excuse me. I always call her their Ishii because I feel like that connection is natural.
I can see it. Yeah. They're both short.
That too.
Let's close up shop here. Thank you everybody for listening to this week's episode of Ring Post Radio. Obviously, we will be back next week on Sunday this time around.
Might have to be night though.
Might have to be night on
Labor
Sunday.
Day weekend. That's always my busy weekend of the year, and I just remember
true. We'll be going head to head with Clash in Paris.
No, we won't. It'll be during the day.
Oh, you're right. It will be going during the day. So yeah, I don't know exactly what we'll talk about. At least Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor, and then we'll maybe figure it out. I don't have it written down. I need to do that all. I need to do
that's the spirit.
I need to do it all that week of going through all the calendar and writing everything down. But I know at the very least, Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor. Worst case scenario, we talk about Clash in Paris, but you won't be able to watch it probably. So we'll sort of
by the end of Sunday or by mid Sunday, I'll be free.
Yeah.
So I guess if I feel like watching it, maybe. Do I feel like watching it? Let me see the card. All right, it's Nikki Bella and Becky.
And Roman and Jonah. And,
yes, Jonah Rock.
Logan Paul. I saw a rumor that Cena and Logan Paul is actually be filmed twice with two different camera angles. So I don't know if you want to. If there's anything there. Whoa, big old fly. All right, get out here. Get out here, bug. Nothing. Don't worry about it. Scotty, give us some plugs. Give us your match of the week.
YouTube.com/@ScottEWrestling. You can check out all my 5-star review stuff. Ended up being 13 daily recordings, which was a lot, but they're all up there. I'm still doing the Marigold one as well. They have their corking on Friday night, Saturday morning. So I think they kind of set it up for, okay, that tournament's over. Now you can tune into that one. So we'll be rocking and rolling with that, and I'll just continue to make new content. I'm getting together an all-time Stardom sheet because I want to go through Stardom again for some reason, along with like All Japan Women. So maybe there's some history Stardom stuff coming back, which might make Ryan happy.
I would love that.
We'll see if we can work out a deal that makes sense for everyone involved.
But yeah, me over a barrel.
Yeah, we're working over stuff, but that'll be post tournament stuff. I need to get through the tournament with Marigold. They only have a few more days left, so it won't be too bad.
When
But
is the finals of Marigold?
The 14th of September. So they only do weekends, which is nice for me. So it'll be the 14th. I think they only have 4 or 5 days left, so it's not too bad. But the 14th should be a lot of fun. And my match of the week. We talked about Azumi versus Rhea. We talked about Sai versus Azumi. God damn it.
Yeah. Well, you brought it up. You didn't have to.
I know. I hate myself. What was that noise?
That was my that was the arm on the thing. I want to get your arm thing. I used to have that in college when they had like a stinky.
Oh God.
Dumbest jokes. I really see it. Have you ever listened to the Doughboys podcast, Scotty?
No.
You might enjoy it, but I kind of that's recently an energy that like I feel like we could crib this energy a little bit of. A part of the comedy of that is first idea, only idea, and I feel like that's kind of what we do here.
Oh, I meant to ask you, did you watch any of Rev Pro?
Yes, I did actually. I genuinely did.
Anything? That's great. Anything worth watching?
Yes, I thought so. I thought you would really like, and I think it was probably the best match of the weekend. Maybe one match of the Rivals hit.
Best match of the weekend?
No, not match. It's up there. Mercedes Moné versus Emerson Jane for the Rev Pro British title and DW Women's title. I would obviously recommend that to you. And
holy shit.
I don't know if I would recommend this, but I also gave it the same rating. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Zosiah. So
that went 28 minutes. Leon Slater versus Michael Oku went 31.
Yeah, that was also a great match, but I like the Zosiah Zack Sabre Jr. one a little bit more.
Zosiah. All right, thank you.
It's his it's Zosiah's send-off match of Rev Pro because he's heading to WWE as well.
Oh, really?
Yep.
It's a weird signing. Anyways, my weird signing for them. And he's gone. He froze on my screen. I'm trying to get out of here. Can people still hear me? Anyone? Am I still here? Is it just Ryan? Someone in the comments? Am I talking to no one? These are the questions that haunt me. Ryan, he's gone. This is ridiculous. What am I supposed to do? We're live on air and he's not here. He's Eternally, you still here? Can you tell me if I'm talking or if Ryan's talking? Maybe you don't hear me. Maybe I'm disconnected. Oh my God. Wow, look at that. Well, I'm just gonna sit here and wait for Ryan, I guess, because he's gone. So that's cool. I have nothing else to say. My match for the week, by the way, is Chika Goto versus Mayu Iwatani from Marigold show on Friday because that was a lot of fun. Nice hometown show for Go Chika. And I said all the other matches I would have said. So yeah, that's that. Let me check my phone to see if Ryan has contacted me. He has. All right. Power went out. Oof. So here is Ryan's match of the week. It was Steve Gray versus Johnny Saint from World of Sport 1980. Gave a whole 5. Plugs for Ryan. You could check out the ballot. The FTR episode came out last weekend. Definitely go check that out, or last week, I should say. Go check out the ballot. Ryan would love that. Check out everything on the Countouts Podcast Network as well. We're really proud of what we do here. I think Stardom Road might come back. That'll be something I talk about with Ryan. But since his power went out, it is what it is. Any other plugs for Ryan? Yeah, I usually just say check out the ballot. I think that's some of Ryan's best work. And keep following the YouTube channel. Subscribe if you haven't. Press like if you haven't. That helps spread the word, spread the show, which is always cool. And overall, thank you for listening, everyone. I appreciate it. Wish you all the best. And we're going to get out of here. We'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye, everybody.